Good evening, everybody. I am Shane, and this is NXR. And we're bringing to you round 7 of this Tit 1 campaign around the lovely night race of Singapore. With me today, we have the second main commentator alongside me. Please introduce yourself.
NXR, it's a pleasure to be back in the commentary booth. First time since Monza. I think I'd like to first start out by saying congratulations to Night Owl on a brilliant commentary display at Hungary last week. It was pretty good watching him. And yeah, I'm J-Will, by the way. And I'm
Yep.
glad to be co-commentating you at Singapore this week.
It's my pleasure to have you here. Those of you who are complete NXR super fans will have seen the Academy race round here, which you also commentated. Would you be fair enough in saying that that means you've got a lot of experience with this track and know what's going to happen?
I don't think in NXR you can never know what's going to happen, but I would like to think that I have a good amount of experience at commentating this track.
Absolutely perfect answer. Obviously NXR. As we see Johan being the first driver coming out here. Raza retiring from the pit lane, and because he's done that, would you like to introduce would you like to tell everyone watching the engine penalties for this week?
I believe that would be Raza and Bradders this week, and only those two.
Team principal Bradders, I believe he's still a team principal. He just sort of hides in the shadows waiting to strike as his race strategy, and he does the same in the team principal office as well. But yeah, he's decided to take his engine penalty as well. Do you think it's a good idea to take an engine penalty in a track such as this, where it's very hard to overtake?
Well, I was talking to him about that decision. Actually, I've got insider knowledge on that decision. I was talking to him about why he chose Singapore to take it, because I did mention to him that, well, it's going to be a tricky one. You've got to gain places. He said that his main sort of decision was he felt confident on the track. You know, he felt fast here, so he felt like he could make those moves on people and maybe make his way up into the points. And additionally, we may see a few DNFs tonight.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see some DNS because I've just got the weather report in J-Wall.
Oh, please. Is it raining?
It's going to be raining halfway through the race, and it's going to switch to lightning.
Wait, wait. So it's going to be, is it going to start on inters and go to wets then? Or is it...
I don't know, but all I know is that you rarely see lightning in an F1 race, which means it's going to be torrential downpours here.
Can't wait for the session to red flags.
Late on in the race, it'll be like the last couple of laps. So, if this is a hard enough track as it already was, as we're going to see Johan start his first lap here, it's going to be absolutely the toughest test I have seen in a long while. Gale Force there. Johan's already messed up his lap, so we're going to switch to some. Let's switch to who's next. Ready to start a lap. I believe that will be Rapid Kitch, aka Banana. But Gale Force just saying in the chat that the Bruno is specifying the race will be dry inters, maybe dry again, and then going to full wets. I mean,
that's quite interesting. There'll be a lot of pitting going on.
I am absolutely in shock. The fact that multiple drivers are saying lightning about the 60-minute mark, it's gonna be. I'm gonna look forward to that. I kind of hope there's gonna be a few safety cars that is gonna boost that the time up so that we can see that lightning in action.
Well, I've never seen lightning in a Formula One game, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing what potential it is.
Obviously, I know heavy rain is heavy rain, but lightning sounds like it's going to be a very interesting experience, and I think that's honestly thrown me off completely, but I am looking forward to watching it. As all Rapid Kid saves himself from going any forward.
I mean, maybe if the game was maybe slightly more realistic, it would have it red flagged when the lightning comes down, which I think would be a phenomenal aspect of the game, but unfortunately it's not that realistic.
I think it's going to be more phenomenal to watch our drivers struggle in the torrential conditions.
It will be even more. I want to say hilarious because I have a feeling that when it's not me, I can watch it and enjoy it, but if it was me down there I would be really struggling. As Gale Force
I
coming
mean,
out
I'm
for
sure a
now.
lot of people will be struggling, but it's all in the name of entertainment, really, as we see Rapid Kids be the first driver to complete a valid lap going under the penultimate underflow corner. And you think this... Oh, J-Wall's not included as audio, apparently. No, I can hear the game sound just fine. If need be, you can restart. But Wapu Kitch setting the first time at the board of a 1:36.7, I think that's a pretty good time. Oil Prince setting a safe banker lap with a 1:38.3, which any lap could be good enough to go through here for a lot of people make mistakes.
Just going for 6.7, so that's a pretty good lap from him.
Jamie Jacko crosses the line with a 36.9, that's a good lap from him. One driver I'm going to be interested in coming across the line is our Season 1 champion, LaBruno. He was great around this track and obviously famously used in the intro a couple of seasons back, him crossing the line to win the championship. Sets a 1:37.1, which is beaten out by Gifted's 1:37.0. Yes, it's Singapore.
That's a
yellow
quite
flag, it's a Red Bull.
That's
Milkman?
not Milkman, that is not Milkman, that is Gifted,
No,
he's just set his lap. I wonder if they're trying to slow down to get a toe going.
We'll go on board with Gale Force for this lap as he's just started a flyer. Would you like to talk over it, J-Wall?
Okay, so he's going to go into the first 1, 2, 3 sector now. Very tight, got a bit close to that apex, which he does, and swings the car wide. Which is, that's quite good cornering from Gale Force. We're all hoping he's going to put in a good lap here as he gets to the first DRS zone of his lap, gets that rear wing wide open to give him an extra 20, 30 kilometers an hour down the main straight into a harsh braking zone, taking loads of apex really well and, swerving the car out, keeping it as wide as possible, hugging the apex again here, getting the car out really, really well. There's a lot of tight 90-degree corners at Singapore, and I think Gale Force is doing a really good job getting around these with relative ease. And this is the challenging part. This is where laps are made or make or break kind of part for your lap as you go to the really difficult,
personally.
Probably about 100-degree corner and he's just done that really well. Got the car out really, really well. Got a good amount of throttle down. He's going to leave it as close as he can to the chicane. Maybe broke a little bit heavier than he had to, but he gets out quite well and gets towards the chicane. I was invalidate here. He did a really good job not to, and to pull the car as close to that right-hand side wall as he can. Gets to the underflow, and he takes the underflow really well, keeping it far to the left wall and making a good exit, trying to get as close to the wall as he possibly can. Taking the final chicane.
He's invalidated though.
Little bit of understeer. Oh, Gale Force. Invalidating just at the end, I swear.
Around that corner. It would have been a 1:38.2, which would have put him ahead of Oil Prince.
Would have been a pretty
I'm
decent
assuming
lap.
he's going to go again straight after that. But,
do you want to go over to another driver?
Yeah, I want to go over to Icelandic Rob, who seems to have a little bit of traffic.
I think he's back
starting a fresh lap in a moment. But while he's finishing off his lap, I do want to announce the few drivers that have improved, and Kimmy being one such driver of a 1:35.7.
I'd like to see how Mark replies to that.
Yeah, he's currently on his out lap. In fact, is he just ahead of... No, he's further back, so we'll get to see Rob's lap first. But Drop Pass with a 1:35.9, Kitch with a 1:36.4, Scooter with a 1:36.5, and Jack over 1:36.9 to round out the top 5 for now. As Rob starts his lap, to say with his 1, 2, 3, it's very good to nail this. I find it's a very, very satisfying corner scheme. Long right-hander here is heading to the DRS straight. I'm gonna open that as soon as you can. One thing that's a marvel for the Singapore circuit is as Rob almost spins out, is the amount of detail that the Codemasters have put into the backgrounds of this track. You're not going to be able to take it all in when travelling at 200 miles an hour, but you can see all the skyscrapers in the background, all the buildings up close, the lighting just hitting the car in all the right spots. It's a beautiful masterpiece.
It is a beautiful circuit, but it is in real life as well. It's phenomenal. Right in the middle of one of the best cities in the world, in my opinion. And I'm sure that'll be controversial, but it's one of my favourite cities in the world. It's a country as well, isn't it? Singapore, country city. But it's phenomenal, and you won't get another Grand Prix like this because it's just a phenomenal.
Sorry about that, but I would like to point out that as Rob goes under the underflow, he had a purple sector 2 go around
Mark
the
has just
last
gone
couple
fastest
of corners
to
here.
one.
That's going to be a lovely lap to jump onto as soon as we'll finish this. His previous lap was a 2:14.0, obviously a warm-up lap on the tyres. He improves that lustily, jumping up Oil Prince, but only P10 for Rob
And
there.
more
I know he can do
importantly,
better
actually,
than that.
2 tenths. About 10th and 1.2 tenths behind his teammate Ryan. Or Rydell, as I know him by, and that's quite a good lap for
I
him.
mean, interesting thing is that's not usually his teammate. That's actually, I believe he's reserving.
Yeah, he's reserving from tier 2.
He's known for driver, which so good showing from him to slot himself into the top 10 so early on. But Mark right now has come to play purple sector 1, purple sector 2.
All we've got to do is keep it clean in and out of the underflow like Gale Force
He's
kind of failed
invalidated
to
though.
With
Oh,
Mark
what a
has.
shame. We'll jump on board to Yaps. He's just in front of him, who is on a valid lap.
Mark hasn't invalidated for me.
He has for me. As you can see, he's slowed down a lot as well.
He
But
crossed the line
Yaps
for
goes
35.
P2. Only a 10th behind
Oh no, that's
Kimmy,
Yaps.
which I
Sorry.
have to say.
I've been on the wrong person the whole time.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. But only a 10th behind Kimmy, you've got to say, that's a phenomenal lap from Yaps.
It is, and I think Yaps is going to be the make or break in the title battle, and I said it to Bradders last when I was watching the race. I said Yaps is going to be the person that wins Mark this title. I mean, Mark's a phenomenal driver, and Mark could do it without Yaps, without a teammate up there. But having a teammate up there and having it 2-on-1 is just really, really good for him. And that's no disrespect at all to Gale Force. He's done everything he can to help Kimmy so far this season.
Oh, he has. Especially if we're talking about direct points, helping out with a teammate, he's definitely on a lot in that regard. As we see Perez coming up to finish his lap now through the final corner, very aggressive on that inside curb as he goes P7.
P7.
Behind Milkman.
Not a bad lap. Not a bad lap
Not
at
a bad
all.
lap at all, but I don't know if he's safe.
I'd like to pay attention to, I think, Gregor Mullin, or Riot Astonish as I know him by, because I'm old soul.
I would like to override that and have a look at Mark's valid lap currently.
Oh yes, okay, I completely agree, yeah. 102.9 coming out of Sector 2. So, that's a good lap right now.
We'll jump back to Riot Astonish after Mark finishes his lap. Going under the underflow now. I think Mark's got this pretty much nailed on, as long as he doesn't invalidate in the same way that Gale Force did.
Nice and clean.
We should see him rock into that top 3 area
pushing
in
the
the
boundaries.
135s.
He's just got to keep it clean out the last corner, and that's a 35-1, and that's a full 6 tenths faster than Kimmy. Good lap, Mark. Great lap.
As your man has invalidated, Oil Prince started a lap. He's near the drop zone, so we'll go on board with him because it could be an interesting lap. But when I said I expected Mark in the 135s, I didn't expect him to be nearly in the 134s already. Usually it takes a couple of turns to warm up. Gale Force on the team radio saying "fucking bastard chicane."
Beautiful language,
chicane,
Gale Force. Beautiful.
But, I mean, Gale Force. He's a great driver. Don't want to talk too much about his accomplishments elsewhere because what matters is NXR, but I know him and he's been doing a great job recently. Really
Gale Force is one of my favourite drivers in this league. My full favourites because the teammates or friends. But Gale Force is definitely one of them that aren't classed as the drivers I support, but are definitely my one of my few favourites in the league that I really like. The originals. I really like the original NXR drivers because I obviously started watching season 1. So I really like the Gale Forces, your Brunos, your Bradderses, and your Marks.
I think if you had to pick a driver in this league that nobody would hate, you have to say Gale Force at the end
It's
of
got
the
to be
day.
Gale
You really
Force.
do.
Yeah, I don't
Has to
think
be.
he has nobody that dislikes him. He's just amazing. And I hope it's coming around the final corner now. It's coming around the 33. He needs
Bit
this lap
shaky,
to be a
but
good one. It's full six
he
attempts of
does
improvement.
improve. But it's not enough to gain him out of position, and he's still near the drop zone. However, Gifted at some point crashed on
Retired.
track and has sent him down. No, he hasn't retired in the pits. He's
Oh,
crashed because you can
noticed
see
that.
he's got a time of 1:36.5, but he's down there in P15 because his car is no longer able to be continuing in qualifying.
Lots in the chat saying, "God damn it, Mark." I don't think anyone can guess who she supports tonight.
I mean, she is pretty commonly known as the Yoko Ono of NXR because Kimmy is a loving member of the McMartin family, often compared to the Beatles in terms of their camaraderie around the track, and you have to say with Lots, I don't think she's got any ill intentions, but it has been affecting Kimmy's performances if you look at driver's standings. And I'm sure that's just an unfortunate coincidence, though.
Minoy is absolutely
Yoan
right.
beginning a lap.
It was a good effort by Oil Prince to go faster than Gale Force and lift himself out the drop zone. And now I think Neon is very much on Gale Force to get himself in front of Gifted. And obviously,
I mean,
Ewan and Riot still got to go.
Gale Force is on a warm-up lap right now. He's a couple of seconds down, so what I'm assuming, with only 1 minute 40 left in the session, he's going to have this slow warm-up lap and then gun it near the end and hopefully see something happen. We do see the two Hasses coming round the track at the same time. I'm going to stay on board with Yoan, but I want to point that out because potential for toes might be occurring.
Ooh, yeah, but I don't. I
name
don't.
is Riot Astonish.
I don't think there will be because I think both Oil Prince and Gregor Mullen are in the position to sacrifice their own laps. I mean, Yoan is, and Gale Force are too much of a threat of a double Haas out in Q1 if they don't, if one of them spins and collects the other one, then having them both close together is going to absolutely screw them both over here. So I'm not entirely a big fan of that decision to keep them together.
Gale Force starting his lap now. As you see, Rob having a bit of an incident. I don't know if you were on board with Yoan, but
I was on board
having
with
having a bit of a date with the runoff. Maybe he saw Mario in the crowd and he wanted to say hello before continuing this final lap of the session.
I also, whilst towards the end of
Good
Q1,
lap from Yoan though, P7. Sorry, go on.
I haven't got loads of drivers out on track. I'd like to take this as a chance to point out what I mean about the. Usually, drivers resetting to track would hand them a penalty. However, this week there are going to be exceptions to that, and it's in see the runoffs there, which Oil Prince is just going past. Well, if you happen to outbrake yourself.
Crash?
Did Rob crash? No, he's retired in the pits. He's retired in the pits.
Oh,
they are
okay.
bringing the car in. So
perhaps he doesn't think any of these drivers are going to be able to improve.
In the scenario that one driver accidentally goes tooty into the runoff, the game has been known to disqualify you for reversing back out of the runoff. So I obviously tackled that by in the track report by saying that drivers can reset to track at certain points of time when it's stuck in that area to avoid disqualifications.
Gale Force around the underflow for the final time. He knows what he knows. He needs to only be.
He's 3 tenths
only
up.
3 tenths.
That'll be enough.
That's all
3
he
tenths will
needs.
keep him up. Come on.
As long as he doesn't bottle this. Riot Astonished got P10 during your tirade, but go for the corner. He's had a spin! Oh no!
He's out! No! He just had to get that one corner.
Struck the one person we wouldn't want it to.
I think I have to stop talking about drivers.
Aston Martin goes arse over tit and into the barrier.
I first claimed the life of C. Davies at Monza, and now I've claimed the life of Gale Force at Singapore.
He would have knocked the reserve of Rydell out.
No, he didn't.
Oh no,
No,
wait. Would he have knocked Rydell out? No, he wouldn't. He would have just
Gifted.
got through.
I think
Without any funny business.
the shock of Q1 though here, Rob eliminated in Q1.
Gale Force on the team radio. Thankfully he's okay. He's a bit winded, but only words we got from him were, "Ah, bugger." But,
Seems like an appropriate reaction to that.
yeah, I mean, he would have been through to Q2 though, definitely, and I think we can share that it was a good lap from him. We need to wait for Johan to retire in the pits before we can continue on to Q2, as he does so there. Would you like to talk about with how the grid is shaped up at the end of Q1?
Can you see the table that usually shows where everybody is?
Yes.
I can't right now. Okay, it's loaded. So I think maybe the most notable here is Ferrari have taken a very early advantage here and have really set the pace. You know, you've got your championship leader Mark, who's topping Q1 by 6 tenths of a second. So for me, that's a statement. But Yaps is also up there, and it's the story we've seen so many times. Two Ferraris are chasing down Kimi. But I think
as well,
that's
though,
what I was just
Gable.
about to point out. My performers of the session for constructors are definitely AlphaTauri. That's really good from squibs and drops to get himself that far up. But I think my biggest story here, though, Rob out in Q1, and I think he'll be really disappointed with that one.
Gifted, Rob, Oil Prince, and Gale were 4 of the 6 drivers knocked out in that session. Obviously, the other 2 being Bradders and Razza having the engine penalties. But it's unusual to have 6 drivers knocked out, but because of Gifted's crash, it means he will be ineligible to take part in Q2. So there's only going to be 4 spots available to be knocked out here. But whether we see a lot of drivers go for the mediums or the softs is still up in the air, because with that rain possibly coming, you've got to
Yeah,
ask,
definitely.
I mean, looking at what tyres people would select in the garage, it does look like mediums are still the way. But what would you think here?
I think what I really want to know is how long is it going to be until the rain comes? Because if the rain's going to come in the first 10 minutes or something, first few laps, see, then I would go with the mediums because you want to go for longevity, so you don't have to stop before the rain. But it very much depends, because if someone takes that risk and can stretch the softs, they might be able to get track position off a few people and hold until the rain, and that's the trade-off here. The trade-off is very much desire for track position against longevity, which is what you get most of the time with your tyre strategies. But I think this one's particularly interesting because of the way the rain has played out.
What I would like to question, though, is I've been doing a few laps around here in my off time, and had a 25% race around here just yesterday. The softs died out within about 4 laps, which obviously rounding up to 50% is only
8 laps, isn't it?
only 8 or so laps in, and that's like
about 15
in
minutes
territory.
Tops, that's not even 15 minutes, is it? That's 12 minutes.
Yeah, so it's sort of scary in that regard, because softs definitely don't have a lot of longevity. We do see drivers like C. Davies and LeBruno out on them, whereas we see Yaps on these medium compounds. Now the softs are about half a second quicker, if I remember correctly, but somebody could correct me on that. But it'd be interesting to see how that shakes up the quali order. Obviously we know the likes of Mark on the mediums should be getting through.
Well, that's weird. I think Yaps is just like Bruno passed, and I was quite expecting the Ferraris to follow each other around there. I was just keeping an eye on that one, but Bruno's just gone past Yaps.
I mean, maybe it's because LeBruno, because Yaps knows that in front of LeBruno's Mark, so it's not like he can completely go all out, and I think Yaps just wants to get a little bit more space.
Yeah, that is probably why he's done that. You're probably right.
Now, do you want to go on board with Mark, Yaps, or LeBruno here?
I think I want to go on board with Mark, because he's going to set the early boundary here as he approaches 1, 2, 3. A few of my favourite corner sections, especially to drive, Mark takes them beautifully, showing us exactly how you're meant to take those corners, getting a really sharp exit, and it's just beautiful to watch. It's like watching Van Gogh paint. It is just phenomenal here from Mark. He's taking every
Let's hope
corner.
it doesn't turn into Van Gogh chopping off his own ear and crashing into the
Crashing and get the wall. Yeah. Well, commentary curse and all. I mean, I wanted to say he went purple sector 1, but that literally means nothing at this point because he's the first driver to settle that. But it's just phenomenal to just watch Mark, because he's so good at what he does. Oh, we've had Riot has been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. Artifact has been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. There's been a collision at the pit lane. Definitely, there's been a collision at the pit lane, mate. I think Davies
That will be
is
interesting
involved.
to see.
Oh no, that's Johan.
That is quite mega, because if two people have been disqualified, obviously we're in a chase cam with cinematic view right now with Mark on this lap. But if that's the case, two drivers will be knocked out on track here in this session. So it really provides the effort to go for it on these medium tyres, as we see Mark coming through the last couple of corners now, underflow first as always, before into this final rapid section. Let's see what the benchmark is going to be.
I think a 36. I'm going for a
on the
36
overlays
here,
now.
mate. I reckon that's what he's going to get. I am grateful.
Great, yeah,
35.7.
What a lap from NXR Mark. Let's see how Patriots follow. LeBruno, a second out lap. I don't know what was the case with that. But Yap's coming around to cross the line now.
Galeforce just
over a second and a half behind.
As if he's going to get that. But if I'm not wrong, aren't Artifact and Riot only disqualified from Q2?
Yes, they are. I believe they're disqualified from P13, P14, and that would be able to just race. However, I could be wrong, as Galeforce in the chat is ecstatic at the P14. We might have to go to him for a technical analysis. Are you available, Matthew, to come into the party and just explain what the disqualifications mean? There's a bit of a interlude from the main commentary.
While we wait, Kimmy is on a lap currently, and he is pushing it as close to the wall as Mark was. I want to say if not closer, but it's not possible. But they are both phenomenal. They're both giving us a brilliant NXR season to remember. Kind of reminding you of the old Bruno Chaotix battles. You know.
Milkman's retired. Did he just crash?
Ryan and Milkman have had a collision. It's got a 5-place grid penalty for Ryan
hectic.
And a DNF for Milkman. And already,
apologies for not getting that on stream, but now Rydell with a 5-place grid penalty and Milkman crashing. This is some massive controversy, and we're only in qualifying.
I don't envy the FIA this week. This is crazy. But yeah, Kimmy's Kimmy's lap might be a bit overshadowed by all the shenanigans that have been going on, but it's still a decent lap. It's a 36-1.
I mean, it's P2. Can't really complain with that.
The gap, though, is pretty consistent with the Q1 gap to Mark, so I think this is actually a genuine pace gap he's got. Welcome, Galeforce. Welcome.
Hello, Galeforce, with your possible information here. Let's
Howdy.
see. What's the reading on Perez and Riot Astonish?
So I could be wrong about this, but I believe if you're disqualified from a qualifying session, you're disqualified from qualifying entirely, which could mean that they'll be starting P19 and P20.
Well, that is a turn up for the books, and obviously you're seeing Milkman's crashed out now with Ryder with a 5-place grid penalty. You could be surging up the grid here, despite being knocked out in Q1.
This could be P13.
What's your take on that?
Well, no, I did the maths wrong. I think I was going to be P16 after disqualifications. But, yeah, I mean, we take it.
We take those.
We take these.
It's a very difficult track, and I know that you're a driver that can handle that sort of situation, but thank you for coming in and just giving us the information on Perez and Riot about that issue.
Yeah.
I hope you'll race here as well.
No worries. Hopefully I don't crash it again. Have fun, guys.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. I think Drops is currently on a lap now as well. He's just gone purple sector 1. Drops.
That is interesting.
According to my telemetry.
Just want to point out, if you want to listen to more of what Galeforce will have to say, he is live as well currently with his own POV for this race, and he also commentates tier 2.
Well, Milkman.
Tomorrow we'll go on more about that later, but thank you to him for popping in and just checking out that matter of fact.
I do like the idea of talking to certain drivers during the qualifying, so I might be able to see if I can get Bradders in if you want, so you can talk about the decision making that went into taking his engine penalty this week, and maybe even Razzo as well.
I mean, If you can get in Bradders, I wouldn't mind that, as we see drop past mandated. I don't want to get too many people in because we are approaching the end of Q2 shortly, so I think we'll be able to get one more conversation in before that. We'll go on board with Rapid Kitch, who's just about to cross the line, if you can arrange that. He does go P3, he beats out LeBruno, which is an absolutely insane lap, to be honest with you.
The drops must have lost some pace on that lap. He crosses line 38.7. Maybe invalidation.
Someone who also has lost some pace is Yaps, who finds himself only down in P6.
His pace must definitely be concentrated on those soft tyres then for me. I mean, maybe his lap just wasn't his best lap and he didn't put in his he maybe wasn't pushing it as much, especially with only two drivers now being eliminated.
He needs to be aware that there's only going to be one driver knocked out of this session now due to the Milkman crash and the 2 disqualifications. So it's going to be very interesting if he decides to promote the to try and confirm his position at the cost of his tyre wear. So I, for one, would have suspected that he would have been through already.
Yeah, I definitely think he's got to have 4 drivers at this rate to go faster than him, just for him to be knocked out. And for me, it definitely feels like he's in a situation where he's actually safe. Maybe it's just not being communicated to. Maybe he just doesn't know. As I presume Davis is getting defensive. Bradders has joined.
Depends if he pops into the pits now and sees his time, because he's not inadvertently safe, as we do get Bradders in, who might be able to shed some light on his engine penalty. We'll have Drops slapping on the background. Hello, Bradders. How are we doing today?
Howdy.
I mean, not often we get to talk to you, but when we do, it is always a experience, and a very enjoyable one at that. Would you like to explain why you decided to take your engine penalty at such a tricky circuit to overtake on?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Singapore brings us quite a lot of chaos. I mean, last time we were here, the rain came, as it will do tonight, and lots of drivers went back and forth along the grid like they were on a bouncy castle. So, I'm hoping at the end of the day to just make it through the end of the race, which will hopefully gain me a few positions, but I feel like I've got a decent enough pace to be able to make a few passes at the back. I mean, at the end of the day, Singapore's tricky, so if I make a mistake, it's not the end of the world, because I'm not losing out on a good qualifying, just losing out from the back.
Fair point. I mean, you might not be starting anywhere near the back, considering the disqualifications and the fellow engine pen taker in Raza. Do you think that pushing yourself, do you think that the rain today is going to cause more issues than what it usually does here, considering how tight the grid might be under a safety car in those conditions?
Well, I think it depends heavily on when the safety cars come out and if they come out. I mean, hopefully they won't, because I think it'll definitely slow the race down quite a bit, and the safety cars will cause more incidents with the grid being close together. But I think the first few laps will be absolutely crucial. If people can stay clear of one another and let the train spread out a bit so no one's in anyone's gearbox, we should hopefully be able to see some clean moves throughout the race. I'm looking forward to see how it goes, especially with the battle for the front, because Mark seems to have a commanding lead at the moment.
I mean, as he always does, but here in NXR, anyone's capable of making a mistake or something happening. So I wish you luck today in the race, and anything is possible today, mate.
Well,
so,
thank you.
I know you've got the best mindset to go into this. I'll let you prepare now, though, mate. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Enjoy the race.
Squibs crossing the line here. Goes P4. The Alpha Towers are up there again, J-Wolf.
They are showing some really, really good pace here. And if
Can I just
go on? Yeah, sorry.
So before you continue, could I just recommend you turning your receiving volume down slightly, because you were picking up a little bit of an echo during that conversation with Bradders.
My receiving. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Like you hear
There
it.
we are. Yeah. I've turned it down.
Sorry, you can continue with what you were saying about the Alpha Towers.
I think if I was to put a bet on a driver that wasn't Kimi or Mark, it would be one of the Alpha Towers today. They've shown phenomenal pace, and I hope this isn't another one of J Wall's significant signature commentator curse. But I actually think they have a really good shot, and maybe sort of disturbing the balance of Kimi and Mark at the moment in the usual 1-2s. They are your kind of Bottas's and Perez's right now in this session where they've got the ability to be there, but then the two drivers above them are phenomenally fast as well.
Yaps is out on softs, J-Wall.
I'm a bit.
I'm not a fan of this move. I'm really not a fan of this move.
It's showing that he's out on mediums, mate. I'm not entirely sure if you've got the right.
If you go on board with him, mate, you'll see that red striped tyre.
Oh yeah, yeah, he is. He's on softs.
So what I believe he's doing here is just having a look at C. Davies, Rydell and everything. I really can't see him setting a lap on these mediums, especially when he needs all of Jacko, Rydell and C. Davies to beat him. And currently C. Davies having invalidated again, he can't set a valid lap for love nor money.
Well, I'm just not a bit
I
concerned.
think this is his 4th
left.
invalidation. I'll just double check that on sorry if we're shaming a bit
left.
more here. Yeah, this is
Can
his
he get to the
4th
end?
invalidation.
Has he got time to go again?
I don't know, and I mean, Yaps is currently in front of C. Davies, so he's going to have to start this lap on softs if he wants to be safe. Actually, Jacko's retired, so Yaps can pit here with no worries.
Davies has got it.
Retired.
So it's going to be Davies and Ryan fighting. I wonder why Jacko's chosen to retire.
Rydell's coming into the pits. He doesn't think C. Davies can set a lap.
That's a bold decision, but I've got to agree with 4 seconds left.
And I think with the time running out, that's definitely the case here. 2 seconds, 1 second.
It's an absolute shame for C. Davies. Yeah, he's coming into the box. I think he had a good pace here. He was definitely demonstrating it on the following laps that he got disqualified for exceeding track limits. Definitely showing that he had pace to be definitely showed he had the pace to be up there in that Q3 showdown that we're going to experience, but maybe just not quite being able to keep it in the track, which is going to be there.
But here's the grid. Rydell making it in by virtue of just having set a lap. He does, however, have that 5-place grid penalty for something that could have happened with Milkman because he DNF'd around the same part of the track that Rydell was on. But we have Riot, Astonish and Perez both getting disqualified for some sort of blocking the pit lane incident, which I'm not too sure about. We've got Milkman and C. Davies unable to set a time. Before this goes over, I just want to have a look at the best time set, which was 1:38.8 on mediums. Would that have been enough? No, none of his times would have been enough to beat Rydell anyway, which is unfortunate, J-Wall.
Yeah, he had to back out of them though, because he exceeded track limits, so he backed off. So they aren't true
that's fair enough. I
representation.
guess we can't really judge that 100%. But Q3 now, and everyone on the medium tyres, so the top 10 align.
The only point I can think of actually now for C. Davies is that if the rain does show up, it's going to come a bit earlier. He can go on the stuffs and try and make up some track position, whereas the top 10 are all in. But
I would recommend the opposite. If I was C. Davies, I would slap on the hards
and go
and try and get to that rain, because it's all about the risk take here.
It definitely depends on whether how early the rain's going to come there, isn't it?
Yeah, judging from what I remember from the forecast, I think it was 45 minutes was the main strap of intermediate conditions, but could be incorrect.
I've seen a few cars coming out already.
I mean, Johan always getting out as quick as he can, but this time he is beaten by the Alfa Romeos.
And if you come back for a second, I'm gonna take a moment to hype up my team because who would? Alfa Romeo, Kit and Bruno have shown incredible levels of consistency in terms of qualifying, in terms of race recently, and I just think that's worth noting, because at the start of the season there wasn't that level of consistency. There definitely is now, I think, and I think Bruno's got his act together. He's started to perform, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this Bruno for the rest of the season.
Well, I mean, Alfa Romeos, Ferraris, and Alfa Tauris, but all of their drivers, all 6 of them, all through into Q3 here. But I've got to ask to both chat and you, J-Wall, to quote the famous Prince Ali, who is your 50p on?
I had a feeling that question was coming soon. Drops. I'm a
Drop
gambler.
house.
I'm a gambler.
You
And
know
I like
what?
to go for the risky ones.
I raise your gamble and say Kimmy.
No, neither of us going Mark. That's rather interesting because he's top Q1, Q2, and probably top the practice session earlier, I wasn't there, so I don't know. That can
I mean,
assume.
either way, I think we're in for a phenomenal race here where the possible hat trick for NXR Mark is definitely not a given.
It isn't a given. You know, there's plenty of time to make an error, and I said a bit earlier, I think it was my last stream actually, that Mark has shown new levels to his game this because he's no longer making the mistakes
100%.
that he was making that cost him the season 2 title. And ended in bottle shot for me, but I'm gonna have to shut me up this season. He's done a really good job, and he's cut out those mistakes, cut out those little errors, and he is focused on winning the race and winning the championship. I think unsurprisingly, his success comes from taking it one race at a time, and that's in every race he does. There's just a new level of Marker right now. I just can't wait to see his next level.
Milkman appears to be quite irate about the incident that happened in Q2, yet we have received no further issue of what is going on, though he might have put it in the incident report already. Obviously on board with the Brunos, he is the first driver out. And behind him is obviously his teammate in Rapid Kit, so we're going to see the Alfa Romeo set the benchmark for everybody, providing they don't invalidate. But I must say, Bruno is absolutely attacking this lap. Lewis Hamilton-esque.
He's giving it his all, and it's the old Bruno's back. I want to say new Bruno, but it's not. It's the old Bruno. Oh, okay. I've just seen what's happened between Milkman and Ryan, and Ryan is swerving to start it before starting his lap. It looks like Milkman is on a lap. Ryan doesn't think that Milkman is, so thinks that Milkman will brake, and Milkman goes straight to the back of Ryan, who swerves across in front of him.
Ah, that's unfortunate, and it's not going to be a good look for our reserve here. Obviously, he's a tier 2 driver, so I don't know how much that we'll be able to do in terms of bans or penalty points. But
So I was just about to ask, actually. If he was to receive a penalty,
1:36.2 with his teammate coming around across the line now. No,
will
we
he
can validate him and
serve?
actually expect that. But
Will he
if it is
serve the
coming across
qualifying
line,
ban? In tier 1 or tier 2?
I mean, Mark with a wonderful 1:35 dead. But what I think would be happening, I mean, I'm not a member of the FIA as Yaps goes over a second behind, but more importantly, what I would suspect happen, you would still get penalty points for driving in tier 1 for tier 2 incident, if you're a tier 2 driver, but I'm not 100% sure on the legitimacy of the quali ban. Obviously it would help us both out, but I don't know if that's really viable. Penalty points definitely should be given.
I think it'll be treated
If this
like
is a penalty point worthy incident, from what it sounds like it is, but
I think it definitely is, yeah.
obviously I haven't
Maybe
seen
one or
it,
two.
I will not be able to see it. The chat doesn't really have a specific consensus on what their 50p is on. Obviously we know Lots is probably on Kimmy. Milkman being very authoritative,
Yeah,
being the head of the FIA.
I don't think he's
saying
got
penalty points will be counted towards tier 2. I'm sure that will be a discussion for the whole of the FIA to have as a
Yeah,
sort of
I was going to say that.
democratic process.
I don't think Nick Milkman should be making that decision, considering he was the one that was retired in it.
Considering he was involved with this incident, I really don't think he should be involved either, and I really think a democratic process would be the best way to figure it out, which I'm sure people will be looking at, owners and FIA members alike. Kimmy here is on a lap, but we've got Dropass in front of him, who is obviously on an in-lap. Hopefully there's going to be no obstructions here. Dropass goes to the right to get out the way after the underflow. But here we go from Kimmy.
I tell you what, I do love some
this might be close. This might be close. Oh my word! 2 tenths off.
He has stepped
Oh,
up.
we've got a game here, Jable. We've got a game.
It's looked like it was going to be one-way traffic all day for Mark, and Kimmy, a challenger, has entered the arena, and I can't wait, Mother.
Nobody's on any valid laps currently, apart from obviously Rydell, who's 6 seconds down, which I don't really valid. Don't really see as valid.
I think Ryan's done a great job too as well, and obviously there's a lot of controversy over his incident with Milton. But I think generally he's done a really good job on his, I think, Tier 1 debut. I don't think he's ever raced here before. To be in this position now is just phenomenal. So congratulations, Ryan. If you haven't to watch the stream, Tier 2's proud of you, mate. Tier 2's proud of you. It's not an easy step up.
100%, 100%. Now, just looking at this Q3 session in its entirety, what team principal do you think is most happy about what's occurring? Because no team principal's got a lot of their drivers in.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that.
Ferrari.
I'm gonna say
no
Brad.
hats.
I still think Brad. I think having Jacko, Bruno, and Kit all in the top all in the top 10 will be good for him. But I also think Yaps, because he's got Mark up there in first, and that's his champion contender. He'll definitely be happy with that, regardless of everybody else.
You're probably correct in that assumption. Obviously, himself taking the entry penalty, he couldn't show up himself in Q3. But to have all of the rest of his drivers do so, I think you've pretty much smashed that, and I'm sure he'll be very, very happy with the result. Look, Johan has surprised me here today. I'm not gonna lie. Not in a way like, oh, I thought he was bad, but the way he just attacks this circuit in qualifying, he gets right up to the wall. Honestly, I think he's got some balls of steel.
Yeah, definitely. I've
The way
sent
he
you a
attacks
DM
all
in
of these
Discord.
corners, even under the underflow, where the track temperature is obviously a little different, and you can get a bit caught out, especially in the rain during this race. He might be, but he's gonna go in, even though he was really much attacked last lap.
Is he gonna have time to come out again and start another lap?
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will.
Have Kimmy coming out. This is where I want to be watching right now. Kimmy is coming out. Mark not coming out yet, but I'm sure he will react and he will come out one more time. I don't think he thinks he's invincible in this fight right now.
Oh, he's definitely not. Yeah, and I'm sure if he doesn't feel up to taking the lap, I mean, he's coming out now, but he's coming out now. But if he wasn't up to doing the lap, I'm sure he could just take a break and it would all be okay. Like, just take a breather. If he doesn't get pole, that's completely fine, but... Do you know what I mean, Joe?
Pardon?
Like, even if he's not 100% sure he can get out this pole lap, it's alright if he doesn't completely go for it, because at the end of the day, what's the worst that can happen? He's going to start P2, P3?
Absolutely.
It's a long race.
I put my 50p on drops, but I think he's going to make up a lot of time. It didn't look like
I mean, he's currently up on his lap right now.
Oh, yeah, only minorly though, but that's only through sector 1, right? So far, so we got
hard to gain anything at all in sector 1, to be honest, but he's interesting lines through here, and the thing is, even if you... Oh, that's interesting from Rapid Kitch.
There's
no wing on that car, and it seems to have thrown Drop-Ass off.
He's backed off from this lap. That's really, really annoying for Drop-Ass, because he was having a good lap by the looks of it, and presumably just lost his concentration at the side of the Alpha, I think in the wall, really. I saw him off to the side, but I can only presume he hit the wall beforehand.
3 drivers still yet to set a lap, and they're going to leave it to possibly the last window of opportunity. We're going to be on board with Yaps, though, as he will be in this fight for the front row of the grid, rather than these drivers down there.
Screws went with a 26.5. I don't know, I think Screws is definitely in the fight for the top 2 rows. I do, on his pace so far. He's on 103.3 right now. That's set to 2.
We'll go on board with him then, why not? He is coming up to Yowen, who is on an out lap. Hopefully he will be more aware than seemingly Rydell has been, but I could be wrong on that. That's all I'm hearing. Very aggressive corner into the underflow
that line though. And that's brilliant.
Rapid Kitch is retired in the pits.
I think really big credit to Scribbs there. That line was so nice. He kept it as close as he can to the wall. He could not have got any closer. It was so nice to watch, and he gets
That
it
is
to
a
the P3.
fantastic lap from Scribbs. Oh my days.
I think if the AlphaTauris
He's
work
done
together
all he
here,
could there.
if the AlphaTauris work together, for me, they're going to have one. They're going to be favourites to win the race. We'll have one of the drivers win the race because the power of teamwork and 2-on-1 is going to get them through. So I think Yaps' lap here is going to be the most important lap of Mark's championship so far.
I mean,
Yaps'
all
lap.
Yoan needs to do is set a time to confirm his P9. But here's the most important man on board of right now is Yaps. Kimmy's going to be behind him, but first
It's
Yaps can't beat Kimmy.
But it's
Kimmy's
P3.
2/10 up.
It's
It's in
Kimmy on
position.
pole. Whoa! I didn't see it coming.
Mark is up, but it's not enough yet.
Mark, is he backing off, or am I seeing
No,
this
he's
wrong?
not backing off. He's not backing off. He's 2/10 up himself.
He's 2 steps up.
Oh my goodness,
It's going to
that's
be really close. Mark has got to respond. Kimmy has sent it. He's fully sent it on Mark. He has sent out a statement. The championship is not over. But Mark has got to respond to that to say, I'm up to this championship. Give me your best shot. And I think Mark will do this because this is looking like a phenomenal lap. He's just got to keep it tight for this last corner.
It was a right hook from Kimmy.
It's
But
Mark on
retorts
pole
with a
by
knockdown punch.
10th. 3 attempts up on a lap that I thought was going to be unbeatable. This man is just inevitable. He is inevitable.
Scribbs is improving himself. Oh, but he lost time in the final sector. He could have gone up into P whatever. But Yoan
Six
sets
would be
that
good
lap
for
to
him now.
confirm his P9. He would have probably gone up to P5, beating out LeBruno. But I must say,
Look at all the NXRs
Kimmy-
in the top 5.
Kimmy is definitely here to play ball.
I was
some
really impressed
information
with
from his teammate C. Davies. Kimmy has only just turned off ABS and is having new pedals put into his wheel recently. So
that. He's going that. He's that into this title battle. He's buying new pedals. I obviously know he doesn't believe
that
as well.
sounds like a really bad euphemism. Or I've just popped off to buy some pedals. But either way,
He never
what
left,
an end to
guys.
qualifying here around Singapore.
So yeah, Singapore never disappoints, does it? What saying he never
It
left?
definitely does not.
He definitely
It's-
didn't leave. Just disappeared for a
I
while.
mean, as we take a look at this top 10, I mean,
It's gonna be a good look. It's gonna be a good grid.
you can
Definitely.
see why the championship battle is the way it is. Mark is leading, but Kimmy's not gonna sit down and take it.
I think the championship
Not
right now,
fighting him.
it's in Mark's hands, but Kimmy is still within reach if he can just wrestle it off Mark. He needs to get a good launch here. So I think all eyes are going to be on the launch. The start, Kimmy needs to get a good start on Mark. If he can get Mark by turn 1 and dictate the pace, then it'll be really, really good. And Yaps, I think all eyes on Yaps as well, because if I'm not wrong, he's P3.
Yeah, just for the record, I've just had a picture sent to me of the weather report. They're not kidding when they say lightning.
It's actually
We're
lightning.
talking about monsoon conditions. I'm gonna send you this, J-Wall,
Yep.
and I need you to say what you think of it, because honestly, this was by Ferrari team principal Yaps. Take a look at plus 60 minutes there. I wish we could get this up to show on stream, but we do not have the facilities for that. But just to describe the image, obviously we know what the rain cloud looks like if you saw. But this is but there's a lightning bolt in the middle with raindrops down either side. I realise now I haven't actually selected the time to ready up on. I'm sure Yaps has done that. If not, I'm just gonna put it
Jeff,
in
mate.
now.
I'm just gonna go get a drink.
Yeah, no problem. No problem
Right.
at all. Ready up at for 26 minutes past. If you can hear. Apologies for not having that ready. We were just seeing that. Oh, sorry, not 8:26. I am dumb. Forgive me. If Yap said 8:27, 8:27. Oh, Yaps has been the bigger man and dropped down to 8:26.
Jeff, did you get my message, mate, on Discord?
What, the one before? Yeah, I was trying
Yeah.
to covertly tell you. Just
Right.
no problem.
I'm going on.
mate.
I'm going to include my
Don't
audio.
force it.
No. Right.
I can't wait to see this monsoon rain, and I'm not gonna lie. I want a couple of safety cars in this dry period to make sure we get some good monsoon action. I want to see a couple of safety cars to make this go longer so we can get to that point of the race. But Tier 1 is the pinnacle of NXR. What we stand for, the drama, the entertainment, the chaos. We don't base ourselves on speed, of course. We base ourselves on entertainment and passion for racing. And basically, if you're just not a dick. And we should see a lot of passion here in these extreme conditions. Would you like to run us through the tyre choices that everyone seems to have selected? I think it's pretty clear cut, but I love what C. Davies has gone for. He's took my advice. Rydell's penalty, and Gale Force was correct in the assumption that both. Actually, I think he was incorrect. And it's funny how Perez and Riot have been separated by Rydell. But anyway, would you like to go through the tyres? Jay Wolf, just so you know, people can't hear you. Can you untick and double tick the audio?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. You should
I
be
think.
being heard now. I'm not sure though.
Yes, my audio wasn't included. I forgot to re-include it. So I think the overwhelming majority of our drivers have gone on to the mediums. So for me, that's the tyre to be on. That's the smart choice. It's got the longevity to get to the rain, and more importantly, you're going to have the pace off the start. Now, the two drivers that go for the hard, Davies and Greg Ormley, for me, three? Have I missed one? Oh yeah, Raza.
See,
they've taken a risk. That's the risky one. They've got more longevity. They'll possibly go to the end, to the rain. Definitely will go to the rain. But you're gonna have the issue of how many places you're gonna lose on the on the start. Now the game saying 11 laps on. Actually, just quickly, drops. Is he playing some sort of here by keeping
what's
that
happening
gap?
with drops?
That for me, that's dodgy, and I don't like to see that.
What did drops do? I didn't catch it. You
I'm
were
just
cutting
saying,
out slightly.
Look at the gap between drop. It's quite big.
Well, it's more LeBruno's
I didn't quite see
here.
what Drops was doing.
Dropass is right on the back of Yaps. Interesting, but
Yes.
I'm
okay,
hearing
my
word
bad.
from the Gale Force
tolerance
department
issue.
that he was wanting to start on the soft compound.
Ooh! Now, I would have loved you to do that one, Ghost, because That's what I said you possibly could do to Jeff earlier on, and try and get trap position at the start, but I don't know if it would have been the best strategy.
Would you like to commentate this start here? I'm going to be on board with Kimmy. He has the inside line.
Yeah, okay. So, it's going to be very important this start for Kimmy, for Mark. It's round 6 of
7.
NXR.
And it's lights out, away we go.
It'll never end. It's 5 lights out, and away Mark gets a great start.
We've got Kimmy second place
like
leading into someone here.
Connection issues.
Oh, Galeful, could you invite him back, please, mate? We've got Perez up 2 positions, Rob up 4 currently. We haven't seen a big whop around yet. Obviously, Galeforce is so far back because he's AI. No one's come into a calamitous accident just yet, touch wood. And we're seeming pretty cool here. Rydell right on the back of Gifted. Those hard tyres really proving... Oh, Oil Prince has crashed. I don't know exactly what happened, but it's going to be a virtual safety car.
Ooh,
With Galeforce, we see he was turned around into the wall.
Full course car, it's a VSC.
It's only virtual. Only virtual.
Yeah, see,
So
actually,
it's
he's
not
had a
gonna help
collision
the
with
time
someone
extend
else.
to the rain. We'll quickly check the incidents here. No warnings for damage, but I'm just gonna have to try and invite my commentating partner back before we go green. Gonna put this on joinable, so hopefully he can join back. Please, no one be stupid and join the party. Still on the virtual safety car, we haven't missed anything. Hopefully we can get my boy back in. I know that Xbox are having some possible party issues right now, so hopefully he's been able to join back. I can hear you. Make sure the stream can hear you. Sure. We've got LeBruno pitting on lap 1. He must have damage.
And Milkman will follow, and I presume that has to do being caught up with Oil Prince on that lap 1 incident. So that's unfortunate.
I mean, the FA will have to look at that. It's a front wing change for LeBruno.
I'm probably
and
Milkman
it's a
as
front
well.
wing change for Milkman.
Yeah, that's definitely
unlucky for them, but we're definitely not over yet. Both of them are going to pop on. Oh no, it's fresh mediums for Milkman, but LeBruno's gone for the hards.
Bradders goes really, really wide, and I think he's missed his braking point. Sailed towards the wall, might have side damage. Or, sorry, side wing damage.
Gonna try and look one up the inside, but that seems a very ambitious move. We've got Gifted, who was side by side with Rydell, but just falls behind.
Sorry, mate, I'm gonna have to rejoin the game lobby as well because.
Yeah, are you able to join? It should be friends.
Yeah, no, I should be able to.
Yeah. He's also left the party again due to Xbox being annoying. He should be able to join back himself though now. We've got Rydell having some issues. Join back the lobby. Hopefully we're going to join back the party. Bradders looking up the inside of Gifted, wasn't actually thinking about doing it in the end. Got to play it safe, secure. There's 31 laps of this after all. Kimmy is leading, thank you very much, lots for pointing that out. I didn't even notice, because of the technical difficulties and everything happening. Kimmy is leading this race by 0.8 of a second. This is definitely something. And Kimmy has got something to prove. As we see, right, Astonish retiring on board with Galeforce. He had a bit of an issue. We'll go back to LeBruno, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. It's going to be another virtual, not a full safety car, which is what we are all really hoping for. But under this virtual, I am going to take the opportunity to invite J-Wall back. Taking the opportunity to invite J-Wall back under that virtual safety car. It's not a full one, which is what we really want. That is a shame, though. Hello, can you hear me? The party is joinable from now on, as we do go green for DRS. And everything. Gifted manages to get past Rydell on that restart. If you do have more issues, you can join the party yourself. Yep, no, Lot saw that, and I happily to oblige. Kimi is leading this race by 0.8 of a second over Mark, but Mark does have his teammate Yaps behind him. Yep, I caught that. It seemed like he had a spin on the straight. Gifted 3 seconds for corner cutting already. Hard to corner cut on a street circuit. You got to know where you're doing it to be successful. But we've got 2 DNFs, both of the Hasses. It's been very disappointing for them today.
My audio
You've got no audio, Jay. We'll make sure you include it, mate.
I have it included. I've just turned it on and off again, but hopefully that sorts that out. I seem to be having some network issues.
Thank you, Eugenio, for those updates. We really appreciate those.
Kimi is
so for me, it's interesting because we've had 2 crashes so far on the track, and they've both been virtual safety cars.
And they've both been
full.
Hasses as well, which is I think
they have both been Hasses, which is
Yaps,
a shame for Yaps.
I don't mind. 2nd, 3rd for his Ferrari boys. His title contenders.
But what interests me as we keep on this battle for P11 is that if we don't get those safety cars, the likelihood of rain happening here, as you see Gifted make this move, thanks to DRS, the likelihood of that monsoon weather coming in,
I just want to point out as
hope that
well
the approximate weather is kind to us.
that we've seen a massive advantage in clean air, because 2 fastest laps have just been set. Milkman and Bruno. And Bruno's on our hard tyres, which just proves that the clean air is massive around here. Getting caught in the train.
Clean air or DRS?
I would go clean air, because there's a lot of corners around here.
Very much.
Although
we do
there is
have a
3
little
DRS
bit of a DRS train actually, coming from P12 down to P15.
Mark is doing a good job
be
at keeping this gap constant in 7/10, and I'm just watching this battle consistently here, so I don't miss any sends from Mark. But he is really doing a good job at chasing down Kimi, and he's just got to try and stay with the 2nd. DRS is now activated anyway, so he could just look for the move, and I think if it's going to be anywhere, it's going to be at the end of the 2nd DRS zone.
I completely agree, as he sets the fastest lap behind Kimi. But the battery ERS is quite balanced right now. As we see Spinali going into the box. Hopefully he doesn't have damage. We'll go on board with him quickly to see if they've got a wing replacing. But we'll jump back to that battle for the lead very shortly. They do have a wing ready for him. That is a shame. He's going to lose out on a lot of time there. Both of the Alfa Romeos having difficulties
yeah, that's
here
tough
early on.
And I did talk about the consistency as well and the ability to continually score points. I think I need to stop talking about drivers. Oh, okay.
Oh,
let's have a
it's
look.
a little bit of a swerve from Rydell as you see Bradders raise up a hand in frustration. Could be side pod damage, but regardless of the little
it's not on
love
sim
tap,
damage, mate.
Bradders gets the move done. But we do still have side pod damage as Rydell hits the wall again. He's done that a few times now. I don't know if he's got wing damage though.
Can I just ask the chat
I see
to
Razza
confirm
go on the move for him, so
whether
maybe
or not
he
they
does
can hear
have damage.
if that's possible for them?
Sorry, could you repeat that? Oh no! Gifted!
Oh! Oh!
He's reversing! Reverse,
He's going
boy!
backwards!
Reverse!
He is going
Reverse.
backwards!
You can reset the track there, lad. Don't worry.
He's really committed to not resetting the track, so it makes me
really
question
committed to that, and
if
I've
he
got to
did
give
read
the
the
props.
track report.
I wouldn't have
Thanks,
punished
Cal.
him for resetting there because he's at the back.
Yeah,
Not at the back, but
wouldn't
he had
have
no
done either.
cars around him. That's the thing with resetting a track. You want to make sure there's no cars around as per the track report, and it's in a position where you can't easily turn back around. And on a tight straight like that, with barely any room to get the car around, it would have been allowed in that situation.
He's got to brake heavily for that.
Speaking of which, you know the man that took the engine penalty and he came in to have a talk with us during Q2? He's up 9 positions.
9 positions, so he's really taken advantage of the messiness that he talked about in Singapore. And I just want to point attention to the fact that Bradders is now 2 tenths off C. Davies. And I like this because Bradders and C. Davies have been going at it every race this season. We've seen some brilliant battles. Hasn't always been as clean as you'd like, but they've always given it the best they've got. So I always like to see Bradders and C.
You have to say that was
Davies.
an effortless move.
It probably was, to be fair, because I only saw the two dots, and it didn't look like it was much because it was in a DRS zone. C. Davies also not having the DRS and probably in a
C.
sitting
Davies
duck.
veered off to the right to allow him through, which almost caught Bradders off guard, in fairness, but...
Yeah, good racing from C. Davies.
There.
I don't like talking about him too much on stream because, you know, the unfortunate commentary.
He's annoyed at us for previously cursing him in the past, but I'm sure he'll do fine this race. We got Razza behind him though, and Razza seems to have great pace on these hards, I must say. Up 7 positions, partly because of the clusterfucks, but partly because he's just been keeping it clean. I mean, he's ahead of Galeforce.
He is. He is. Yeah, that's important. But Galeforce has also got up 5 positions now. Admittedly, I think a few
all the drivers below him have
off.
boxed.
Yeah, actually, let's have a look. What's his net? What's his net position? Is what I want to see here.
He's currently 20 seconds ahead of LeBruno.
He is. So he's basically net. I reckon net maybe P15. I think Bruno would get him if he pitted now. But phenomenal racing again. By the way, Mark is now 5 tenths. Mark is 5 tenths. Oh, shout out to Cal.
C. Davies.
He's redeemed his shout.
Yeah, we'll go on.
Really great driver, I think, for T2.
Yeah,
I'll get on to that.
Yeah, great driver, but obviously Razza is making the overtake on C. Davies now. I didn't want to turn away from that. That's a lovely move around the outside, but C. Davies is keeping his nose in, but he can't stop this Williams. A little bit of a tap on the back. Appreciation saying, good job, mate, you got past me. But
and
yeah,
fair
saying
racing as
Callum
well.
28. Callum 28 did redeem a shout out, so just want to go on to that. Your Alpha Tauri boys are doing well, mate. Look at that, up 3rd, 4th and 5th. Good job from him. I know right now you're watching the NFL, you're having a good time, but your boys are also doing a good job. Just ignore these two down here, but your Alpha Tauris are doing really well. Yeah, great guy is Cal, great guy.
Mark and Kimmy are really still going at it. 7 tenths is still the gap. Mark refusing to get out of that DRS zone. He's continually pushing it, and I want to know how much they're pushing it, because they're pushing it to the limit. You might see a mistake, and that mistake would be costly.
I have to congratulate Kimmy for keeping in the lead. It's more of a case of Kimmy keeping this lead than Mark keeping in the DRS, because
yes, actually, absolutely.
I mean, we see with the DRS here now, like Kimmy's got a bit less overtake, but nothing that's really a big issue. But we're seeing here, though the gap closes, Kimmy is able to keep in front. I know Mark won't do any ambitious dives or anything stupid like that. But it's all about how Kimmy can get back away from him. The dirty air that Mark's obviously going to get behind Kimmy in these tricky technical sectors is going to help with that. We'll keep on this battle for the lead a bit. No, that's not usually my type of
commentary style.
but,
yeah. But I would like to watch the battle for the lead as well. It's the most significant, but all the other battles do matter as well. And I always have to stress that you should watch them as well.
One of the moves that could be happening right now is Perez looking at Johan, but we're going to keep with this battle for the lead though. Just want to draw attention to the fact that that is happening. Less than 3 tenths the gap. We're going to jump onto it quickly because there's nothing important happening. We'll jump back to it by the time we get to the main straight.
I'll stay on the gap for the lead and tell you if there's any.
Yeah. And we can see Kimmy has increased that lead back to the 7 tenths mark, negating the powerful effects of that DRS through technical brilliance through the second 2 sectors and the dirty air that Mark will get.
Mark's now got only 7 tenths. Now that's about a tenth less, I think, than last lap when we come through the flag.
But you gotta admit, when you're behind another car here, the dirty air is difficult because it makes all your turning just that little bit different, and that little bit can be costly in a street circuit like
But
this.
then there's 3 DRS zones to make up for that, and speaking of which, Mark has entered one, gap is only 6 tenths. Has he got much DRS to play? If he's got more than Kimmy, he might think about making the move here. I think it would have been a 3 tenths of a gap send. It would have been an ambitious one. But
speaking of ambitious sends here, we might have Perez look at a move on Johan. He thought about it, but Johan's being saved by Jacko here, who's giving him a little tow along. It's like a DRS straight, really. A DRS train for that sort of batch of cars. And, no sign of the rain yet. We're about a third of the way through this race almost.
Mark keeping the gap, just 6/10 of a second now, going in towards what I think is the best DRS overtaking zone on the track. It's not long enough for him this time, though. Not long enough.
Kimi is doing magnificently well right now. He's dealing with the pressure of having a driver like Mark behind him. And, I mean, it's showing how he's still got a bid in this title fight. And if he wins here today, it's definitely going to be well deserved.
I have to think, is Yaps going to go long here? If the rain might interfere with this, but if it's a fully dry race, my money would be on Yaps goes long, plays the Bottas role.
Completely agree. Lottie is unable to watch his unable to watch her man in his moments where he'll need her the most for emotional support. But there we go. I'm saying it's a heroic drive from his AlphaTauri boys. He didn't specify AlphaTauri there, but I know that's what he meant. Scribbs has an incident. He's dropped down all the way into P9. I've just cursed it.
It's the same as usual.
Scribbs has had an incident. But he must have had a little bit of a spin, but I'm not 100% sure. He lost a lot of places in quick succession there. I'm not 100% sure what occurred. Did you see anything?
No, I was too fixated on the battle between Mark and Kimi as I have been for most of this race. I just want to point out really quickly, 9-second gap to Mark and Yaps. That's the level that Kimi and Mark have been on.
And I mean, in the past couple of races, it's just been Mark to that lead. But you got to admit, Kimi has stepped it up here. He's seen a weakness in Mark's game plan, and he's going for it.
He has.
Much like how Droppass sees a weakness in the Ferrari in front of him. You can't do a good job as a teammate when you can't keep Pierre Gasly behind.
It's also interesting to note that actually, this is Mark's stronghold. I think he's 5th in the world on time trial here. Kimi has absolutely no right to be leading this race for 10 laps, but he is doing. He's showing that the determination levels. He wants to get back in. Where better to do it than on Mark's turf, on Mark's territory, on a track that I think he would say is one of his best. And Kimi is going to do it here. He's going to lay down the marker, make a statement, but he's got to, because the gap is 26 points now with just 7 tracks left.
You know me, J-Will. You know me. I think time trial means almost nothing when it comes to a race pace scenario. And obviously, being quick means that you have a way of having consistently decent race pace, but in reality, being 5th in the time trial means practically nothing here in NXR. Especially when we do prioritize personality over speed. And
because when I was doing time trial for Imola, I pit and didn't hit the pit lane divider. So it means absolutely nothing. And I completely match your point there, actually, about when personality and experience and the genuine excitement for league racing is the most important thing in NXR. I think that the time trial time means absolutely nothing, and your just ability to keep... Because don't forget, you could be the fastest in the world and crash. So that for me...
A lot of things can happen.
Backs your point.
The thing is, with racing, it's such a abrasive sort of sport. Anything can happen in the split seconds that you have on that wheel. One little finger misjudgment and it can send your car into the wall at 200 miles an hour. Obviously, because this is virtual, we don't have to worry about that sort of risk when a crash does happen, like we have seen with the Hasses earlier. But it just goes to show that despite it being virtual, these drivers, Kimi and Mark, they have wheels, they have pedals.
It takes it out of you,
mistake on that wheel can send them going as Droppass makes an undercut.
Oh, we've had a yellow flag.
C. Davies has a crash.
It's C. Davies. Oh,
it's a full course safety car.
I was talking him up again. I'm gonna have to stop talking about C. Davies. C. Davies, if you're doing this, if you're watching this commentary, mate, I really think you're a great driver, and I feel really unlucky for you there, mate. I don't.
Not really sure what happened there. Not really sure what happened. Me had on board with the Alfa Romeos, but he
let's see if
disappeared
I
just
can get
before
him
that
in.
point.
Whilst we have the safety car to talk about what happened.
I don't know if I'd want to get him in at this point because emotions will be high and
Yeah,
everything,
absolutely.
but
Understandable.
I must say, someone who's timed that to perfection is Valtteri Bottas. He comes into the pits just as C. Davies has his unfortunate accident, and he might be looking to jump a lot of cars here. The gap to the leader, 40 seconds, but the gap only 27 to Yaps.
I feel
And
really sorry
if
for C.
we see
Davies
some
here because I think he was dead respectful with the battle and he was leaving his space. He looked determined to finish the race, and it's just not happened for him, and I just feel really bad for him. Yeah,
It's
I
very
always don't want to see a
unfortunate.
driver DNF.
And I've got to worry for him because over the past couple of races, I'm worried that this is going to drop his confidence a bit. After being
Sorry, well,
P2, P3 in the championship last season, he was a hot commodity in the draft, and he's just not performing up to that in the last couple of races. But that happens. Form can go up and down. And what I worry about here is that he's going to completely have a shot of confidence because of this and not think about being kicked back. One thing that's interesting to me is that all of these drivers are pitting. Yaps is double stacking.
Oh, I think Yaps could have gone out and taken the net lead there to hold Kimi up. But I wonder if maybe Yaps is saying I'm focusing on
The
my own
rain
race,
is
not the
definitely
team."
coming because we see these drivers putting on fresh sets of mediums. Razza has stayed out on the hard compound. He's confident that his
big
hards can
decision.
make it. And
Yeah,
he's
I
jumped
think
up to P3.
I think that's a great decision. I think that's a really good decision from him. I think to stay out, to try and get this. C. Davies is saying it's due to rain in 15 minutes. Thank you for that update, C. Davies. I think then, if it's due to rain in 15 minutes,
I think Razza's made a great call.
Has made a big call, and it's going to go massively in his favour. But the other drivers that started on the hard, they're both eliminated. Yeah, okay, we haven't got to worry about that.
One thing that's curious to me is if you're Milkman and if you're gifted, if the rain's coming in 15 minutes, you're really taking a ballsy call going for these softs. I mean, you've got nothing to lose, but at the same time...
I admire that. Yeah, 15 minutes. I think the softs will last, and what they're going to do is track position, aren't they?
Well, Milkman's boxing again. I don't know why this is.
Is Milkman going to do the J-ball at Spa and put the enters on?
He's putting on another set of softs. I don't... He's
Has he had wing damage?
In front of him because of that. No, he had no wing damage.
I'm a bit confused by that one.
I will go back in. I'll go back and spectate Mark as I will go and have a refresh on my water while we are under this safety car. Please keep the masses entertained, J-Wall.
I will try my best. Yeah, see, David, I completely agree that it's just unfortunate. All your incidents that I've seen are just really unlucky. So you've got your Monza incident, which was just I think a snap of oversteer, and it forced you into the wall. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't see what happened in this race. But most of what I see your incidents are just unfortunate, and it's great to see you racing in NXR because Bob. I'm going to say you won the championship last season. You finished third ultimately, but the drivers that did finish in front, you ultimately got DSQ'd. So I would say you won it, but I would obviously you'd take third. But we all know you're a great driver, mate, and you haven't had the luck this season. Now I tell softs can make it to the rain. Yeah, I definitely thought softs could make it to the rain, but I think my worry is that the softs, even though they will make it to the rain, won't have the ability to make as many passes if they just stayed out. But I didn't see where they were when they stayed out, so it might be a nothing to lose situation where you can just box and you can stay out. So box and you can stay in the same position. Anybody else in the chat has got anything to say whilst we try and pass some time to the safety car? Now's the chance for your interaction as gifted boxes again. Oh, okay. I think maybe they're trying to keep the. Damn, thanks, Naito. I'm looking forward to Tier 2. I'm back on controller for Tier 2 tomorrow. Do I have any football transfer jokes, Eugenio? No. Because if I was to say there's an FC one, then I don't know if that'd be allowed. So I'm not going to say the prisoners. Although I'm pretty sure it's been said about 50 billion times online already. So I definitely think that maybe there's a bit of dirty tactics going on here by Red Bull just to keep the safety car out, because if they're both alternatingly boxing, the problem I have with this is only try to keep it out till the rain comes, because if they are, that's a good call, I think, maybe, but it's a bit risky. Because I don't know. Maybe they both put in fresh sets of softs when the safety car comes in, but then they're not going to be able to catch up. I completely agree here. Nato, it's going to be hectic tomorrow, but I think it'll be hectic today as well. We've still got 17 more laps to go of this race, and I think we could see anything happen. We've already seen 3 DNFs.
I am
The Red
surprised
Bulls
there's
are
only
coming-
3, to be honest, J-Will.
Minoya's saying he thinks the Red Bulls are coming in constantly to keep their tyres okay, even if the safety car comes in this lap. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to provide decent overtaking, but then if you're in that situation,
Well,
surely
while
you
you were
just
gone,
don't
Jeff,
box for the first lap and then you put on the softs.
Gifted
afterwards.
boxed again. So I was just saying
Gifted
that I
also
think
boxed
maybe
again?
the Red Bulls. Yes, I was saying I think they've stayed out, going in on purpose to keep the safety car in. Sorry, out. Is what I was saying to the chat, maybe. What do you reckon? Milkman boxing again?
Milkman's boxed
This has
again.
got to be it. Yeah, they've got to be doing it.
What is this? I mean, I'm not sure on the legitimacy of this, if it's keeping the safety car out.
For me, that's race rigging as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, I want it because I want to see the monsoon weather,
some of
but
the
I
drivers,
don't
so I
know
think we
the
have some technical
legitimacy
issues
of
going.
coming in and out on these soft tires. You're making your pit crew work overtime as well, so I'm not sure Cal's going to be too happy with any of that shenanigans. I'm sure he's also watching now, and I don't know what his comment on this will be. Oh, he is commenting. He's saying he's not sure he likes the tactic from the team. It's almost like I know him and he's my friend. I mean, I'm all for it because if it is actually impeding the safety car, we might actually get to see the monsoon weather, but also at the same time, I'd much rather it come naturally and have it not be wigged like this. Eugenio saying we want monsoons. I can only agree as my commentating partner has an issue. Safety car will be in this lap, but we have enough time to quickly invite him back, so bear with me just a moment. We should be back. You can see Kimmy and Mark warming up the tyres. Razza on the 14-lap-old hards. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep Yaps back, or if Dropass can get past Yaps, as he was looking for that overtake just before this safety car came in. J-Will, are you here and included audio? So I'm going to be on board with Mark on this restart because we'll be able to see how he responds to how Kimmy does it. Yaps on Razza and Dropass on Yaps is going to be some interesting battles. And Gifted on LeBruno here will also be a decent battle. I know you're not going to be able to look at anything, but we're going to just hope that everything's going to be okay. This is extreme backing up from Kimmy. As LeBruno gets a time penalty, Kimmy is itching to keep this driver NXR up behind, and that's a perfect example of how to restart on the safety car. As Kitch and Rydell have an issue, 5-second penalties for the pair of them.
Oh, with Ryan, yeah.
Making contact under the safety car. As Yaps gets past Razza.
Razzers is
and
really
Razza's
gonna go
tumbled
as well.
down the grid!
Oh no! I was really hoping it worked for him because he took that gamble.
What a shame.
And it was,
As Gifted makes it
he got
past
caught in a
Bruno,
rock
we
and
can't
hard place.
dwell on that too much, however. But it is a big
But
shame
Kimmy-
for Razza, isn't it?
has had a beautiful start, and he's gapped
I mean-
1.3.
I don't know if you saw that start from Kimmy, if you were back in time, but it was absolutely delectable. He was weaving so slowly and Mark was right up against him.
And then he
No
proper
way
caught
Mark
him
could
off
react
guard,
to
didn't
that
he?
sort of start.
It was brilliant. It was really clever as well. I don't know if he's been practicing that, but I don't think there's any way he did that without any practice. That's phenomenal stuff, Kimmy. Well done. Congratulations. I don't know who
Oh
I want to
my
win this
God,
now.
Rydell!
Oh! Another retirement. What happened? Didn't
And
see
it's
that.
another safety car!
Oh!
I was on board
Let's see
with
if
that.
let's see if Red Bull do that thing again.
Right, I was completely on board with that. The stream got the perfect view of that, because I was on board with Gifted, who was tearing through the Bruno and Gale Force and looking to make a move on Kitch just ahead of him. But, I mean, we just saw Rydell completely destroy himself into that wall. We know the second sector is very technical and very difficult, but Jesus,
Nah.
that was a
Now,
vicious
if you're-
crash.
If you're Kimmy, how are you going to
No one
play this
boxes
safety
here.
car restart? How are you going to play this safety car
I would do
restart?
the exactly the same thing, because in that sort of, if you're that good to do that sort of start, you're not able to stop.
And Mark being
you're not
aware
able
of
to
what he's going to do isn't going to help him out at all.
I don't think even if you're aware of what's going to happen, you can stop it.
I will have to completely agree with you on that one. I think it's going to be tough next few laps from Mark, because every lap that takes place under a safety car is a lap that Mark can't pass him. But we're treating this now, Shane, like it's going to be a complete dry race. It's not. Anything
It's
can
not.
happen.
And as Manoy conveniently put for me to jump onto, this second safety car pretty much guarantees that we are going to start seeing monsoon rev weather for the
Did I
last
just see
couple of
some
laps
rain?
of this Grand Prix.
No, I'm
Pardon?
not just seeing something. A drop or
Did you
two?
just say you thought you saw rain?
Yeah, a drop or two of rain on Kimmy's.
I think I saw the same thing.
I'm definitely seeing some rain here. I think the rain is starting now. And do you remember? And I think this. I keep talking about it because it's my moment of magic
Oh
in
my
NXR.
goodness
It's my one
gracious.
claim to fame. But do you remember Tier 2, the Belgian Grand Prix? It was under a safety car. It was wet, and I boxed to mediums. And by the time the safety car came in, the track was dry. Well, I bring that up now because I'm just thinking, can somebody box so them enters, and by the time the safety car's in,
I
it's
think
into well.
everyone's boxing for inters here, Jay Wall, to be perfectly honest with you.
It's a free box, but I don't know, because we see so many times in real life F1, the guy in front is at such a disadvantage in points like this. Lewis Hamilton, Abu Dhabi comes to mind here. You can't make that call. You can't make a reaction call.
No,
You've
I
got to
think
be the
if you're
first to
Kimmy, you
make the
can
call.
make the call here. I think everyone is going to perform one nice line into the pits.
How's he a
That's gonna
night
be
out? Completely agree with
destroyed
you
by
there.
being held up.
Yeah,
And
oh,
we see,
can he
Kimmy's gone in.
fake it? No, he went.
That,
he committed
that was
Mark
legal.
5.
That was legal. That was legal.
That's completely legal.
Jammy,
Mark
Jacko,
then
and
follows.
Yaps are mental.
Here we are. Yes, Yap staying out. Jacko staying out. They're not thinking it's ready. I'm gonna disagree with you there, guys. I think it's absolutely ready.
Oh, this is a woeful decision from the people that have chosen to stay out. And this includes you. This includes you three, right at the top. Because now you're going to be at the back of the grid because the safety car's going to allow them to catch up.
But did they say it was light rain back to dry and then monsoon?
Yeah, but that's the thing. In a track like Singapore, I don't want to be on the wrong compound for any amount of laps.
I completely agree with that. I think it's worth just sacrificing yourself a little bit in terms of extra pit stops to be on that right tire.
Completely agree, and I really hope these guys cut their losses now and hope it doesn't turn into anything much worse later on, because
To quote the
this
great
track
Gifted,
is
I end up
vicious.
aquaplaning into a wall, and you definitely don't want that.
I mean, we do know that the conditions are going to get deadly, because obviously if it's going to turn to light then monsoon, I can imagine this rain technically making some puddles before it goes to dry. as a possibility.
I'm
But
really
chat-
glad the safety car came out a lot, by the way. If I could just, because I really want to see what this monsoon weather looks like.
But chat, what do we think of these three staying out?
Yeah,
I mean,
I can tell you what a few people already think. Night Owl and Halsey both think people should have gone for Inters. Halsey saying gamble, Night Owl preferring to say he would box for Inters. I
think
don't
if
think
you don't
gambling
box here,
was
it's a mistake.
going in. I think gambling was
And-
staying out. Because if you see,
100.
Kimmy...
What? Safety car's already in.
Oh, that's strange, that is. Yeah, no, the back
That's
hasn't even
very
caught up
quick
yet.
for the safety car to come in. It's not giving the Apps or Jacko or Bruno a second chance to box. So
But the front
this
three...
safety car is going to be very interesting. I'm going to go on board with Bruno. Would you like to commentate the restart?
I would love to commentate the restart. So the three cars on the softs have got to get away well here, because they've got to get the
Mediums.
launch. Just say, nah, on medium. So they're coming in.
Oh, yeah,
They're all coming
there
in.
we go.
So
There we
Kimmy
go.
will inherit the
There we
lead,
go.
and he'll get a good start away. He's left Mark. But Dad drops. It's coming up on the inside of
Oh,
Mark.
here
Is Mark going to
comes
be P3? And dropped on the inside. He's going to get it done. He takes too much. Kirby's clipped him in the
They
Mark.
touched.
Mark defending well.
What's that wing that came off?
A bit dodgy, but I think completely legal. Can't really pick who was at fault there. Just a good racing, good flash racing incident. As drops is trying to get the momentum to catch. I wouldn't be surprised if DRS is disabled soon. He's just trying to stay in the slipstream, maybe make a send. Is it close enough? He chooses not. But the big problem here is Mark battling with drops is allowing Kimmy. Did you see that?
Raz has gone into the back of Scribs.
Oh no, I was not reacting to that. I was reacting to the little bit of oversteer that Kimmy just had to almost put him into a wall.
As I said, the conditions are changing. It's going to be very perilous. I'd argue this is almost as perilous changing into conditions as it's going to be in full monsoon conditions because of how the track is changing.
Absolutely. And
It's going to...
go on, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Rafe, one of the up-and-comers in the academy, complaining that Dropass wasn't able to stick that move on Mark for the lead. For P2, sorry.
P2. Yep. I want to say that the race is entirely different in the dry and the wet. So drivers take different lines. Drivers are better or faster better or worse in the wet than they are in the dry. I think absolutely for me, Kimmy won that race in the dry. You can't predict what was going
100%.
to happen, but Kimmy was the better driver in the dry for that race. But Mark could be much faster in the wet. Don't know. And I wasn't there for Milkman's FP session, so if someone was and are watching, do they mind telling me how well the two drivers did if they were in it at all?
It will be interesting to see because Milkman does host these sessions quite religiously, and what confuses me is it going to be full wet or into conditions he has those sessions on, because that's important. I'm sure someone will be able to answer that for me. But perhaps going out to about a second. No DRS is a thing. Jacko has pitted again. We've got time to look at this because there's no insane battles going on, and it's going to be for a front wing change. That is a shame. Jay, are you still there, or we haven't?
I am still there, don't worry. I'm just watching Kimmy and Mark, and there's not loads to say about the battle right now, which is why I wasn't really saying a lot. The gap is currently 7 tenths. Mark's still trying to close in on it. He is closing on it. It was 1.1 before that lap, so that's 4 tenths of improvement, and Mark does look to be finding this a lot cleaner. Sorry. I know Mark
No problem.
runs a higher downforce setup. I know that's one of the things he does because I use that because it helps me with my wheel. So I wonder if that's going to help him a lot in the rain.
Well, I mean, I like to run higher downforce myself even when on pad because it helps me stick to the track, and I will sacrifice my speed for safety, and I think in the rain that's exactly what you have to do.
Just Halsey saying Johan is in a great position. He deserves a good result. And I completely agree.
He
Up
does.
4 positions from P8 to P4, but I want to specifically talk about somebody else. Icelandic Rob. Everyone that's in the Discord will know I'm a massive Rob fan. Rob's my guy.
don't think you class Gale Force in that regard, but he's a lot more outspoken than Gale Force is. I'm sure some people might not like him, as he might be a bit overly active sometimes, but that's part of his character, really, and I, for one, love him. He's a great driver, he's a great man, works a very noble profession, much as myself, but that's outside of racing. Inside of racing, he's a great teacher. He's helped one of my close friends, Cal, learn traction, learn manual gears, and he's a teacher above everything, and he's a great person.
Yeah, he's a really fun guy to talk to, or to, to race alongside. It's just great, and one of the first people I talked to when I was in NXR. But I didn't want to kind of brush off Johan's achievement in this race at all, and I was just replaying what I said in my head and thought maybe I kind of brushed off what Johan did. And believe me, I'm not trying to brush off what Johan did. I think he's had a great race so far. As has the Artifact in 7th. My old teammates, I'm quite a big Artifact fan as well. Raza in 8th, 11 positions. Brothers, 10 positions. Gale Force, 5 positions. So we looked at our big winners, and obviously equally balanced is what the race has got to be. Our big losers right now, Yaps, Bruno, and Jacko. What did they have in common, Sharon? What did they do in common?
Well, they didn't fucking box when they should have done.
Yeah, that's pretty much why they've lost their position. So I wouldn't say they're having a bad race. I would say they just made a mistake, as Bradders collects a 3-second time penalty for exceeding tracker limits.
And what I would say with Perez in P5 is that he has the opportunity to get podiums, does Perez, and at the end of the day, this sort of opportunity that he will have to have a move on Johan, like both of these drivers, like Perez especially, like you expect Perez to be up there?
We've got a red flag.
Sorry,
yellow flag. Yellow. I'm not Michael Masseying this. It's not a red flag.
He still has his wings, so nothing appears to have happened to anyone. We're fine. But back to what I was saying with
see
Perez
Davis saying
and
monsoon
Johan.
on its way. Monsoon on its way. Lightning is due.
Oh, let's go.
I really hope it comes. I'd love to see
I can't wait to
like
see the
7
lightning
laps.
strike down on Singapore.
Yeah, it never disappoints, does it? Singapore. It's always just fun to commentate. I really enjoyed doing it in the academy, and I really enjoyed doing it again tonight. It's not
we
a
get to race
9
tomorrow.
laps. And we get to race it tomorrow, which is the part I'm not entirely looking forward to.
I mean, if it's these monsoon conditions, I for one can't actually wait. And
Jeff,
I want
Kimmy and Mark. In the DRS zone. I'm not entirely sure if the DRS is active.
DRS
just
isn't
thought I'd
active because it's raining.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if it was raining too much.
I mean,
it keeps it out for a while.
I take an educated guess sometimes, but I understand your unsureness.
So, see, I think this is really, really bad for Mark. The rain's not going to help him out at all. It's so much harder to pass in the rain because you don't get the DRS aid. And on a track where following is so difficult, the DRS equals the playing field. That's not there anymore.
Monsoon coming, when are people going to box for the full wets as well? Because that might be an opportunity for Mark to get the jump on Kimmy.
If it's really late towards the end, is it going to be worth just staying out on the inters?
I don't know, because monsoon conditions.
Yeah, well, that's
the inters are going to get destroyed.
Maybe losing 9 seconds a lap or something. So it's going to have to be like 2 laps before the end. As Kit checked a 3-second time penalty. We're starting to see him prop up now a bit.
Yellow flag.
Sector 2.
Jammy Jacko.
Jacko. Yeah, well, his race went from bad to worse
Safety
after
car.
that.
Safety
car. I'm not entirely sure if I agree with that. That doesn't look like a safety car.
I mean, he has a completely broken wing, and it must have been a hefty shunt in a tight part of the track, so I can understand the decision for the safety car from Michael Massey.
If you want to vent your frustrations about Michael Massey, that's a good place to do so.
I mean, we don't have any lapped cars that he can let pass right now. As I'm sure Jack will be able to box, get a new wing, and get out before Kimmy has any chance to be near him.
Halsey is saying the
another
monsoon
safety car
weather has been overhyped.
No, I think another safety car definitely means they're going to have a few laps of monsoon action.
So if you're Kimmy, you're Mark,
this isn't monsoon yet. This isn't
are
monsoon
you boxing to wets or are you staying out on inters? Because it could be monsoon by the time the safety car ends. So that's the game here. If I'm Mark, if Kimmy doesn't box, I might box. And obviously Mark knows a lot more than me about this game, and he knows his strategy, and he's really good. But you want to take that gamble.
If I'm looking at it from a points perspective, no matter what, I'm going to be leading the championship after this race.
Yes,
so
definitely. But if he doesn't score
I
and Kimmy
think
wins fastest
let's
lap,
take a gamble.
it's going to be level
And
on points.
Well, Jacko has pitted for intermediates again, so he doesn't think it's time for monsoon tyres yet.
Yeah.
It's there.
I
Usually,
would
no.
usually go with I would go with what the first guy does. So I think Kimmy stays out here. Ooh, he's thought about it.
Kimmy faked it.
I
I
think,
love
yeah.
that from Kimmy.
Trying to get Mark to follow. Mark was not having any of it. Mark just looked at him and went, ha ha ha. Did a little bit of an evil laugh.
Also, or it could have been Kimmy trying to stop Mark from going in. If it was a do whatever he doesn't do situation.
Yeah, actually, that's completely true. And in which case, it's worked charm.
I mean, a few people have boxed as we look further down the grid.
Lion
Bob's gone
said
wet.
be on the right tyres at the right time, and I actually couldn't agree more.
Bob's gone wet. Gifted's gone wet.
Oh, they made that call.
Scribs has
So
gone wet.
I think the leaders have made a
is
mistake.
going inters.
I don't want to hype it up and get all excited, but if the wets are the right call now, and I really pray to God, can we see an Icelandic Rob win today?
Oh my! I would love
Can we
it
see a
if
Rob
could
win
win.
today? A Rob gifted
I
Scribs
mean,
podium.
We've seen Gale Force also pit onto the wets. Kitch going on, staying on those inters, going into the pits and going on inters was interesting. We've got Yaps on wets. We've got Jacko going on those inters is proving to be a worse call by in a minute. He's got the weather all wrong.
But he was at
But
the
if
back
we just-
anyway, wasn't he? So he might as well just box again, I think.
But if we look back to the front of the grid now, you can see the rain has got a bit heavier.
It's got very much heavier, and I do think now, I think Kimmy baited it, tried to get Mark to do it. It would have been to his detriment had Mark done that, I think.
I think it would have been to Mark's benefit because then
Yeah,
it would have mean
that's
that
what I meant, to Kimmy's detriment.
yeah,
Mark's
and
benefit.
Kimmy has successfully done a bait and switch there. But I know that the chat and the commentary booth is going to go hyped if we see lightning come down in the next couple of moments.
Guys in the chat, I want you now to say whether you would have pitted for wet. And I want you to say the likelihood of a Rob win, because I am praying for an Icelandic Rob win. And I know I'm the most neutral commentator ever, but I am praying for a Rob win.
See, I'm very good with my with coming in at the right time or not. And I would have asked Alex as soon as that safety car came out. Alex, otherwise known as Jeff.
Halsey is saying they're going to stay out on the inters until the end, and I actually think that's a good play. But Lion is saying it's time for the
It's
wet.
definitely not a good play in my opinion.
Kimmy's stayed out. Mark is committed. Mark has gone in.
That is
I think
dangerous.
Kimmy's just thrown this. I think Kimmy has just thrown this win because Mark's gone in, and that's the problem with being out in front. And you look at
But
Mark
six
now.
drivers
How
have
many
stayed
cars
out
are
though.
gonna
Six
pass him?
whole drivers
Mark!
have stayed out for the
Rob!
inters.
That's Rob on provisional, surely. That is Rob on provisional.
It would depend. It depends how bad this rain gets because we have Kitch on the inters who stayed out still. I don't know if he's going to jump any more people. But Mark down in the P11 on wets. You've got Rob, Gifted, and Scribs for a provisional podium, which looks absolutely sensational to look at. I'm sure Cal is shitting himself right now.
He definitely, but I don't think. I think Milkman.
But we've got
Milkman
six
might back
drivers
Rob
that
up
have
here.
decided to stay out. Jay.
Milkman may. Yeah, I noticed that, and Kitch boxed onto the inters. But I think Kimmy take that bold call to not box. He saw that Mark's boxed. Is Kimmy going to cut his loss now and box? I think it's very, very, very bad decision if he does, because he'll be towards the back. He's got to commit to what he was going with, and that sounds bad, almost bad to say. I think Kimmy has lost this race win. I genuinely do, and I know I could be shut up
Too
here.
early to call though.
I
We've got to
think
wait
Kimmy
for
has
Jacko to
through
try and
that.
get his way around the track though, because we might have
If
the
there's
safety
any
car in for a
consolation-
few more laps as a result.
For Kimmy, it's that Mark is in P11, and he's got to get past 10 people before he gets to Kimmy. So he's going to stick it on the inters. I don't say he should, but if Kimmy is going to stick it on the inters, then he's got a decent buffer between himself and Mark, and of which 3 of them are drivers on wet and will want that race win. Now,
I want Rob to win this race so badly.
How aware is Gifted and Rob that the other drivers aren't on the wets? Because
they are overtly aware. I guarantee
So-
they are all checking. They are all pressing start and having a look on the race director and seeing the tyres everyone is on. And Rob is
just
seeing
to
everyone
react
in front
to-
of him on inters, and he is licking his lips.
Just going to react to Alex there in the chat saying Kimmy can do it. I have absolutely no doubt that if one man can do it, it will be Kimmy. But I have to say, I do think this is looking like wet weather, more so by every single lap.
One thing that's interesting here is that Jacko is keeping the safety car from coming in. Not Brady in detriment of his own, but he's just not able to drive around this track. You can see if you go on board of him, he's struggling to catch to the pack.
Is
Despite
anybody
the
boxed?
rain coming
Yes,
down.
Artifact
Perez-
has decided to box. He'll get off those inters, and I think that's an indication that it's no longer inters. It's now wet, and
Or it's peer pressure.
it could be peer pressure. And
Mark and
drop.
Joe have collided!
Oh, but it's just Marcus could not got the look. I really feel bad, but he's in 11th, he's in 10th with a 5-second penalty as it is now. It's going to be tough for Mark. Gale Force has got to get it on at the start, try and send it on Mark. It's going to be a really, really difficult move for Gale Force, but you know, he's got to give it a
won't
go.
be sending it on Mark, I can guarantee that now. He's not that
Do you not
type of
think he will?
driver. He sees points on
No,
the
I-
horizon for him with these drivers ahead of him that are yet to pit. He's going to be playing this very safe in a net P6 right now.
Of which one of his team there in the championship battle. And I honestly got a feel for Kimmy if this doesn't work, because I think he's been phenomenal today. He's led, I think, through lap 22 to 26, which is just phenomenal. He's held back 5th best in time trial in the world behind him. He's not budged a single second, and the rain comes. And I hope, and with Wookie in the chat saying him and CD are on strategy, I hope he gets it right. I really do. He's really good at his tyres and stuff, Wookie. Massive shout out to him, because whenever I ask a question about tyres or anything, he always answers. He always gives an answer in the chat. So massive shout out to Wookie. I just hope you get it right, mate. I hope you get it right, because Kimmy is
Safety car in this lap, Jay. Well, it's
not in a great
happening.
position. It
We're
is
gonna
finally
have
happening.
5 laps
Have we seen any lightning
of
yet?
green racing on monsoon conditions. I mean, if we go out to the front and have a look at Kimmy.
No. I had network issues and Kimmy went into the wall. So, that was, I just got absolutely baited by, but you can see he's struggling with dragging this car around some of the corners
But
here.
just
I
look
don't know.
at the rain buffeting down. The lightning is only a matter of time, be it actually coming or not. But you can tell that this is more than just a very wet condition.
It absolutely is. I really need some lightning bolts flashing across the screen soon now. Because I was promised it.
Now, one to watch on this restart is Icelandic Rob.
Did Kimmy put it in a wall for you, or was that my network issues again?
No, just you, mate. Kimmy waiting as long as he can to start like he did before. He's chosen to go, but obviously these inters are very slow and not very able. We're going to jump back to Gifted and Rob. Gifted's going to make his way up the inside of Rob.
Oh, yeah. This is the battle
Whoa.
for what I think's the race lead. Rob's got to get
holds
Milton.
it, and Scribbs is
as
gonna,
well.
Oh my god, Miltman's checking up the pack.
Yeah, I thought Milton would try and do that to help out. But I think, look at how easily Rob's getting past Milton here. If that's an indicator for anything, that's at the wet's the
There's
best.
contact. I keep hearing contact, but I hope to God Rob doesn't have wing damage, because Rob might have done a cheeky strategy play and tried to kill Rob's race.
Look at all the battles going on here in front. I think Rob's got a bit of
Bradders
traffic
is
to
going
get
to be
through,
one of
and
the
it's going to
people
be
that got caught out on the inters. There's a yellow flag,
it's going
something's
to be most
happened.
difficult.
It's Kitch and Yaps.
It's
Kitch and
Kitch.
Yaps. Kitch and Yaps,
Yaps!
both of them.
No way! Yaps is, I think, almost out of this race now. He's still alive.
Come
He's
on,
still alive,
Kitch,
but
you
it's so
can
difficult.
reset laps.
Rob's gone wide.
Wait, where is
I
he?
hope.
Oh, he's P5. Okay, good. I thought he dropped down the order and I shat myself.
No, no, he's fine. But I hope it's not just me lagging and getting incorrect data, but he went kind of wide. Didn't lose any positions though. Alex is saying he doesn't think they've added lightning to the game, which is very, very disappointing because I was promised lightning. He's going to go for it here
on the weather report
Bradders.
lightning as Rob makes a wonderful move on Bradders on those wet compound tyres.
And,
Oh, but he gets
seconds.
a 3 second for having to go wide!
No! Bradders, do your thing and
So
absolutely
Scripps
hold
will have
up
the current
Scripps.
net lead
And
without a penalty to his name. The
Scripps,
Alpha Tauri driver must be
it's
getting a nosebleed.
Storm,
Gifted's crashed!
Gifted out!
Gifted's crashed on
No,
the underflow!
He had
and it's
what
going
I
to be a
reckon was a
safety
guaranteed
car!
podium. It's a safety car and
Gifted,
maybe a
Kimmy,
free
come
chance.
in, lad! What are you doing?
No, Kimmy, stay out! Stay out! Stay out! It'll be like 30 or something by the time the safety car comes in. It's going to be 2 laps of racing.
That's correct. You're right, J-Wolf. You're right.
It's going to be 2 laps of racing for Kimmy to hold out.
Oh my goodness. Mark's boxing. Why is Mark boxing?
This looks impossible. I think if Kimmy wins this, Mark is out
Mark's
of
got
points.
wing damage.
Mark has got wing damage. This is massive for Kimmy. The championship takes yet another beautiful twist. And I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving every single race of NXR
And
season
Gifted
tier 1
currently
this
has the
season.
fastest lap, so there will be no fastest lap point.
Well, yeah, that
It's
is
a double
that's true.
stack for Ferrari, and how the mighty have fallen. Both of them have needed front wing changes. Look at how far down the order they've gone.
We're going to go to
Gale
Suzuka
Force is in P8. This is
next
insane.
race. And we could see Mark and Kimmy with just 1 point between them in it. And I am loving the prospect of seeing 2 greats of NXR battle it out on a track that's iconic for winning championships.
So this safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap, I believe.
Hold on, I think I might have some sort of glitch with
And
my
if
mic.
it's not this lap, it will be next lap, because they need to allow for at least a 2-lap sprint. But I believe they try and make it for this lap, but maybe if drivers are this far behind, with the likes of Rapid Kitch, I don't think they'll call it. No, they've not called it at the usual mark, so they're going to have a 2-lap sprint, because they'll be under safety car for lap 29 as well, so it'll be lap 30
Jeff,
and
mate.
31.
I've just muted my mic to see if it's my mic, but there's a crackling coming through the Twitch, and I don't know if it's your mic or just a general Twitch problem, but I can't hear it in the party. I think it's a problem with Twitch.
It's a Twitch problem, Jay. Well, we've been through this so many times in the commentator chat.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm going now. I don't know if that was the issue now.
Yeah, don't worry, mate. It's a Twitch issue. We can't do anything about it. I'll do
Right.
something and see if it changes.
Bosses finish P2, take 18 points on Mark.
You might need to repeat that because I wasn't on the street. I wasn't on the game as it said that, and I want to make sure. Jake, fuck off. Anyway, what were you gonna say, Jay Wall?
If you're Kimmy here, and Mark does get through and get into second by the end of the last lap, he's got more pace than you. Are you going to battle him so hard for that race win, or are you going to let him through, take P2?
I mean, Mark's definitely not getting up there, but I would take P2 in that situation. Gale Force has had wing damage under the safety car and he's lost his point paying position.
Oh, I feel bad for Gale
A moment of
Force now.
silence
But I
for
also,
the brave Aston Martin.
I think the people that stuck with the Inters and committed to it, and I don't mean stuck with it for like a few laps and decided to box like Artifact did, and that's no hate to Artifact, it seemed like the right move at the time, and I would have said the exact same thing. But to the people that stuck with it, proper committed to it, and said, no, this is the strategy we're running, we're not changing it, I think that, sorry, I think they're going to
pull off the heist of the century here, especially if the podium remains Kimi, Razza, Johan.
Razza, by the way,
One thing
massive
I
shout out
want
to
to point
Razza.
out with Razza is that he pitted under the safety cars when he needed to. The front three have
Definitely.
had perfect strategy.
But from
Yes, mate.
19th to 2nd, that is a Verstappen drive right there. Russia is obviously what I'm talking about.
Bradders has had an incident under safety car. He's
And
spun
he's crashed
around.
the safety car again. It was him, wasn't it?
Reset to
Hungry?
track, mate, when there's no one round. You can read. There you go, mate. Well done. Someone's paid attention to the FIA track report.
To be fair, I did write it when I was in a practice. So he maybe had a big talk through of the major points. But they are there.
Halsey, I'd like to say that, but no, that wouldn't happen. Oh my god, Razza just hit Kimmy.
Razza hit Kim. Is this a 5-second time penalty? It'll probably get removed for Kimmy.
No, it's not. It's not. Oh, Rapid Kitchen.
Oh, it's
Bradders
and
have one,
Kitch. Kitch has got one. I don't know about
but
Bradders.
Kimmy's going to be leading his third safety car of the night.
No, Kitch has got one. Bradders has not got
for
one.
A 2-lap sprint.
Is it coming in this lap? I haven't had a notification.
It is coming in this lap. It's
coming
going to be
in
a
this lap?
2-lap sprint.
Okay.
Lap 30 and 31. Kimmy's going to back up the
there's contact. There's definitely contact there. Razza, I think, hit Kimmy. See, it could network again. Though. I don't like
no,
this.
it's been prescribed as Kimmy gets away well. Yaps has tumbled down to the back of the grid. He's had another spin. This is disastrous for him, but we're going to have to stay on the battle for the lead here.
If Raz is going to go for this might screw over both of them. So I just want this is Scribs getting past Rob. Father, let's
the front three don't have any time penalties though, even though they're on these intermediates.
And I just want to say that Dadders rocks. Dadders rocks. I've been waiting for all 30 laps to say that. Very unlucky, but 5 positions made up. I did say I was going to squeeze that in, didn't I, Shaman?
Yeah, you did.
Dadders rocks.
Yo, we're alongside.
Get back to this.
Razza's weaving him and closing the
Yoan's
door.
P3.
They're alongside. Go on.
This is a
go
big
on,
move.
Yoan.
Go on, Yoan, make it stick, mate.
Do
I
it
love
for
this
Prince
move.
Ali.
He's getting up the
Down
inside.
the inside. Oh.
Oh, there's a great race, but it's really benefiting Kinney. Scribs
great
can't get
from Razza
through. I think Scribs is going to send it through. And Bruno's retired. NXR the bottle. Is out. Sorry, I'm just kidding, Bruno. I'm just kidding. He's out of the race.
Love you for saying that if he was here.
Scribs gets past. That is absolutely a brilliant move because it's a tough section to get past. I don't think we're going to get a safety car, which is very unfortunate.
Rob and Yoan side by side.
Rob wants to get past, and I think he will. The tyre advantage is going to be massive. Yoan P5 is still very respectable, mate. And Scribs has got to get past Razza. Scribs has got to get past Razza by the end of this lap if he wants to win this race. He's got to.
Oh, they make contact. They hear a little bump. Razza is closing the door so
Yeah,
aggressively,
Razza,
but he's had a later break,
defend
and
this.
it's a lovely move round the outside.
Don't defend this.
He's
He's forcing
coming in
it to
thick and
wall,
fast.
hasn't he?
How close did he close the door there?
He's got to do it now. Kimmy, you've got to defend like hell, mate. You have got... This gives me Lando Norris Sochi vibes right now. Leading the whole race. Last few laps, the
Robert's
rain
got up
could
into
screw
P3
him
as
over.
well, but he needs to get that 3-second gap. Oh, Razza's hit the wall! That's definite wing damage. He's hit
This
the wall
is it.
again, and he's caused
Kimmy's
Jacko
gonna lose
to
the
lose
race lead,
his
I
front
think,
wing, and
here.
he's crashed.
Scribs is closing in on him. There's going to be a massive straight for Scribs to get it done.
Oh, Jacko has got a front wing, thank goodness for that. And that means he's in a podium position!
Keep an eye on this battle for the lead.
Scribs going along.
Scribs is going to go off the inside, surely no. He's going to wait until the long straight. Good, smart decision. Kimmy's going to lose this lap. He has led from lap 2.
Here goes Rob as well.
He has led from lap 2 to 31. But it's not going to be enough by the looks of it. The rain is the only thing that can defeat Kimmy today.
The enters weren't the right call after all, and it's Lando Norris vibes in Sochi for Kimmy here, but he's still going to have a great increase in the Drivers' Championship.
He can still wrestle on the podium for a podium place, and it will probably be a P3 because Rob is pulling away. This is a phenomenal
It might be a
performance.
P2 if Jacko can't make the move.
No, I think Rob is going to pull enough. He's 2.5 seconds already. I think he's going to get that to 3 by the end of this race.
Oh, Rob
It
can't do
looks
that with a
to be
spin there. He's had a little bit of a wiggle,
Scribs
and
is
it's going to
win.
allow Scribs to get that second gap and win this Grand Prix. We'll
But
talk
if you're
about that
Kimmy
in
now,
a few moments. Jacko
no,
gets
Jacko has
past
forced
Kimmy
his way
well.
past. I didn't know he was on the wets. I thought he was on the
It's a
enters.
fantastic move from Jammy Jacko, and it's a deserved podium if he doesn't.
It's
Hold
P4
on, commentator cuss. Oh,
to
no.
Kimmy. But Kimmy has been phenomenal, and I need to stress, for me today, he's my driver of the day. He's been phenomenal. But he didn't get the call right, I don't think. It was such a difficult one. So
But as we go through the
it's been a
underflow for the
phenomenal
final
race.
time,
Kimmy's led from lap 2 to
Scribs.
31, but there was one too many laps in this race. Scribs got the strategy right, drove a phenomenal race, and rounds the last corner to win the Singapore Grand Prix. AlphaTauri take
Rob.
victory in Singapore. Rob gets home with a nice P2. Jacko
He has the
completes the podium.
3-second gap. Jacko
Kimmy
with a deserved
is in
podium.
P4.
Kimmy jumps back up into P4. Mark gets
P5.
P5? Where has
On
that
s-
come from?
So I actually thought that Kimmy was
Shit,
getting
the
massive
penalties.
leaps in the
Oh,
championship.
fuck.
But Mark has wrestled P5 before the FIA report. I didn't see him do anything wrong, so I can't say he'll get a penalty, but we can never say for sure. So this is the provisional finish at the Singapore Grand Prix.
Have the
Don't know what
penalties
it
up on
is.
screen. I really need to hope there's not a timing glitch.
Can we still get them up?
Well, no, because they're already
No.
gone. And we can see by the fact that Kimmy doesn't have a thing, dropouts and everything, FIA are going to have to work long and hard into
To
the night to
fair,
figure out what the
I
grid
think we
should
could be
be.
forgiven for that because that was a phenomenal last lap.
I mean, Jay will for the grid back being the FIA if there is timing glitches that the people would submit in. So good luck to that. But what a front three.
The man of the hour, Scribs, Rob, and Jacko all drove a phenomenal race.
That's a lovely heart from Scribs. I think this is Scribs' first Tier 1 victory.
It's a phenomenal drive from the man who's and it's shared with the guy that beat him in last season's championship. A 1
The
in 2
Tier 2
for Robin
boys
Scribs.
have come up
A 1 in
and
2
done a madness.
for Robin Scribs. The guys that, well, that was it was 1 in 2 every single race in Tier 2 last season for those two. So they've driven phenomenally. They've deserved every single result they've got here today, which is the one, so I don't know why I said every single, but they deserved it thoroughly. It's been a good recovery from Mark because of time penalties to get himself back up to P5. That's what he needed. Kimmy, condolences really there. That was P1 from lap 2 to 32, but one too many has claimed the victory of Kimmy.
I would like to point out before we get on with interviews, we're not going to be able to interview Jeremy Jacko on voice due to the fact that he's having party chat issues and he won't be able to speak to us, but I'll be the first one to say that he is tremendously proud of his performance, and we'll now get on to the two other people who have won our hearts here today, made the right strategy calls where it counted, and I believe Rob is going to be the first one you're talking to, J-Will?
I don't have many questions lined up, but I can always make some up here.
That's what you do best.
What I do best.
Firstly,
Most of them.
include your audio, Rob.
Will just
I'm
be me
very happy to see you
screaming,
here.
Thank you.
Robs!
Hello.
That meant more to me than it did to you. I can guarantee. Congratulations for a start.
Thank you so much. I'm dripping wet, and not because of the rain. It's
Yes,
just
you are.
it's pure sweat. I'm
So am I,
exhausted.
Rob. So am I.
I'm absolutely exhausted.
It was a really good race to watch. Is Scribs also including his audio at the same time? We can do a double interview here. Yeah. Well, first of all, I was really thinking whether you were going to get Kimmy because of the inters and the 2 laps that you had at the end of the safety car. At the end of the safety car. Strategy-wise, what made you take the strategy you took today?
Go on, you go first,
I'll
Chris.
no, you go. It's fine. Yeah.
Starting on mediums, I thought they'd be able to go to the rain. I've done a race around here on hards before, and I just lost grip in my corner and crashed, so I was like, I'm staying well away from them. I thought about staying out on the first safety car, but everyone in front of me pitted, and I was quite happy just staying behind the other fact, because I know he's clean. I'm happy to just follow him. So, did that, and then when it went to winters, I was pretty comfortable, but then that last safety car came out, and I was like, it's nowhere near wet, but I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. Threw myself in, got on wet, so really struggled on them. But I was trying so hard not to hit the slow intervals in front, and then I was having a battle with Brad, and we had a tiny bit of contact, and I corrected over the curb, which gave me a 3-second penalty, which is just racing. But then I wasn't going to fight Scribs too hard, because if there's anyone I want to get a win, Scribs. And yeah, I just tried to stay with him after we got past Kimmy and pulled a 3-second gap on the rest. And yeah, I'm very proud of my son today. He deserves it.
Thank you.
It was definitely a good watch, and it was really, you know, it was really good to see you two together on the podium, because you know the title battle in Tier 2, and it was just great to watch you there. So I'm going to talk to Scribs about how it feels now to win your first Tier 1 NXR race.
I can't put it into words. How long I've been in this league as well definitely puts a mark on it. I went Tier 2, and being first choice for AlphaTauri really put on some pressure, to be honest. And that's just released it all. I'm absolutely buzzing. I don't know what to say.
Well deserved.
I'm really happy.
Thanks.
I am just in shock and in love with that race. When I heard about Monsoon, my eyes lit up, and you both know how I love a wet race, watching and driving. And we didn't see the lightning in the sky, but we saw the lightning on track between both of you, driving through the grid on those wets. Absolutely amazing.
I just want to say that I did predict an AlphaTauri went for qualifying, but yeah, I'll take that. I'll take the clean please, Shane.
Well,
It was
and in the Discord earlier, I said that me, C. Davies, and Rob were going to get a podium, and I was one off. So I'll take credit for that.
I am going to call Scribs out on one little move because it scared the living crap out of me.
Oh,
When
no, I know what he was
he
saying.
went for a send in turn 1 past me and Gifted, and he completely missed the corner. It scared the life out of me.
I missed my breakers. I couldn't see the line because of the spray and two
It's
cars there. So I just predicted. I'll let you two pass anyway. That's fun. So.
I'm not massively familiar with the constructors' standings, so I'm just going to pull this up now. It's going to be a massive 26 points or 25 points, sorry, for AlphaTauri for you. And that really puts you in the battle with Ferrari. Well. That definitely puts you in the battle with Ferrari this season. Do you still think you've got what it takes to win the constructors this season?
Oh, definitely. I think
I love the confidence.
me and Jules have been a lot more consistent as teammates as Ferrari compared to them. I feel like either one of them's been inconsistent for one of the race weekends apart. I don't know what. Maybe, I'm not sure. I forgot that was.
Did you get a 1-2 at Monza? I think you're thinking about, mate. I think you're thinking about that.
That was in the sprint race, I think. And then
Was that in the sprint race?
Yeah. And then in the actual race, yeah, it's like P7 or something.
Oh yeah, you're right. 1 in 9 in the actual race.
I think it's. I didn't expect to be this high up, to be fair. In the driving.
I really do
as well.
want to see a good battle for the constructors. It looked to me like Ferrari were gonna run away with it for a split second, but it's really pulled you guys back into it. And in respects to your personal championship, you're currently P5, but this is going to pull you a lot closer, and I think the big for P3 at you're in the top 2. So I'm really backing you for P3 here.
Thank you. I'm
Your
not sure.
overall chances to get P3 and the quality of drivers you're up against.
I think there's a good chance, but I also think I'm not going to fight it too hard because the constructors is the main goal for, especially AlphaTauri and Red Bull. And I think that me and Drops aren't going to fight too hard, getting muddled up in this driver standings thing. I think we got our sights set on the constructors, and we showed that through the races that we've had this season.
Well, it's definitely a very, very mature response, Chris. I like it. Not solely about yourself, but about your team, and I do love that. And I've got a question for Rob as well. And I'm pretty sure you're not going to disagree with me too much to say it was probably a bit of a disappointing start to the season for you. Obviously, having that
shocking.
P3 in Portugal was a big up of it. But do you think this is the turning point of the season now, where you can start to grow in your confidence and in your race results?
I hope so. I really don't like the Mercedes car. I've struggled with it all season. I just don't. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm attached to it. It feels too grippy in a sense, whereas I like to fight the car a bit more.
Yeah.
And I don't. I just haven't been on. And I've started a new job, so I haven't been practicing as much as I'd like to. But to be honest, after inheriting the podium in Portimao, and then there was a race the other day. I can't remember which track it was, but I was doing well up until something near the end, so I didn't feel too bad about it. And then today, wet weather driving is my favourite, and to be able to have, I had some great battles with Brad. I had a little one with Bruno, and obviously always great to battle swerves. Like it really brings the enjoyment of racing back. So I'm hoping just to enjoy the season. I haven't got any goals. If just keep doing well and enjoying the racing again is my main aim.
Well, I always enjoy watching you racing, Rob, and you know, for the first time in a very long time, I can leave tonight a happy Icelandic Rob fan.
Hell yeah!
It's been too long since I've been able to say that.
Thank you, mate.
It's been such an enjoyable experience, it really has. And
Credit
I
to
mean,
Jack
this
as well.
was probably
Forgot
one
to
of the
mention.
one of the favourite races I've ever commentated.
It's been my
Got me there
favourite
for
race
race
I've
this season.
commentated. It's got to be, hasn't it? I definitely think it is race of the season. I really liked Bahrain because we didn't know what was coming and we didn't know how the drivers were going to be, and it was very level playing field. And I shouldn't pull Bahrain, but I think this is my favourite because the rain always makes an interesting race, and you two
We had
handled
a
it
monsoon,
brilliantly.
James.
A monsoon with no lightning. Were either you guys expecting lightning?
It did say.
Yeah,
Exactly, it did say.
I actually thought the safety car was going to come out because of the weather. Because I've seen that in monsoon conditions where no one crashes, but the safety car comes up because the weather's that bad. I'm kind of expecting that, and maybe for it to finish on the safety car. But
Oh, that would have been brutal.
not quite.
I was hyping the end of that race up for about 7 laps.
I have to say,
Yeah.
Kimmy's a madman on those inters. I saw
He
Scripps
wants to, doesn't
struggling
he?
to get past, and then he just
I
let
know.
me past.
I think
He
he'd be
parked
alright
his
at that
car
point.
exactly where I didn't want it.
Well, while we continue to discuss and marvel about what a fabulous race that was, I think that's enough for now on the stream. Don't we all agree?
Oh, I
Something I
would
will
say
be
so.
watching back a lot of times.
But I hope you enjoy it, mate. I hope you enjoy it because it was very fun for me to watch.
Thank you.
But in the meantime, I've been Shaman,
And I've been Joel.
and this has been round 7 of the Tier 1 season here at NXR around the lovely Singapore. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.